fall, but it feels like summer. We're in the 80s. The humidity is up. The wind will be up a little bit this afternoon. Could be our last day in the upper 80s here in this end of the country, in Winston-Salem, and we're just about ready to go. Wake Forest won the coin toss, but they've deferred their option to the second half. So we'll get a look at Army's offense. First of all, if you don't have field glasses today, you're going to have trouble spotting who's got the ball for this Army offense.
We talked to Wake Forest's defensive group, and they said, we didn't even practice with a football this week. It's assignment football. Tackle every option of the triple option, or somebody will be running clean. We'll see that all day today from Army.
Jimmy Newman getting ready to kick it away. He's got 7 touchbacks thus far this season. Getting ready to receive. Black Knights of Army. Crucetti is number 13, and Josh Jackson is back there with him, and we're ready to go. Newman's kick, and it'll go over, and that's touchback number 8. And we're going to have a look at our starting lineups presented by CPI Security, protecting. Malcolm Brown steps up from the wide receiver slot to the running back because of injuries. And of course, up front in the line, it's a pretty good group. Ben Jebb is up there at left, or rather left tackle. And here is Trent Steelman, 4 for 11. He was 1 for 3 last week against Northern Illinois.
Well, even though it's a ball control offense, they work from the line of scrimmage. They'll always look at the sideline to make sure what they got called is what they want.
First man through is going to be the fullback. Not much there. Well, that's Steelman, actually. He carries a 7-yard gain. Trent Steelman. Here's Wake Forest front 3. And of course, Zach Thompson is back at defensive end this week. The linebackers led by Joey Ehrman, along with Olson, Haynes, and Jackson. And in the secondary, they've got some experience there with Morel Noel, Daniel Mack, A.J. Marshall, and Kevin Johnson. Second down and 3 now for Army. Look for Maples. Look, they had 3 100-yard rushers led by Trent Steelman, who first Army quarterback to run and pass for over 2,000 yards. Or for run for over 2,000 yards. Handoff. And that is going to be Malcolm Brown. The Wake helmet off in the meantime. And Brown gets the first down and moves it out to the 39-yard line, a gain of 7.
Little midline trap play. When you see triple option, you see what looks like the wishbone in the backfield, and all of a sudden they turn in hand with a quick trap off the backside. That's the other part of this, the element that catches you off guard, because you're thinking the 3 phases of the triple option, all of a sudden they hit you with a quick trap.
Steelman, 4-year starter at quarterback, a senior out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. He's a good one. Handoff right up the middle, and that's going to be to Dixon. Larry Dixon had a great week last week, 136 yards and 3 touchdowns against Northern Illinois. And Redding and Johnson are in on attack.
Well, we see this a little bit. I think the first group that popularized the cards from the sideline was that Oregon crew, but obviously Army doing some of the similar things. Those different pictures meaning different formations, maybe a different call, blocking scheme up front. Very difficult to decipher the code.
Nathan Maples has yet to touch the ball here today, and this is going to be the first pass of the day, and it is complete. Complete to Lawrence. Siobhan Lawrence, a sophomore from Fairview Heights, Illinois. Big gain on the play for Army. They don't pass very often, so it's a big surprise. 45 yards.
Well, I'm talking to Rich Ellison, the head football coach. He says, when we practice, we do this extremely well. We just haven't thrown it very well. The plays are there. And Jim Grobe said, hey, we got to be assignment conscious against the run. And the next thing you know, they slip somebody behind you. Excellent play and excellent execution by Trent Steelman.
Well, as Jim Grobe said yesterday, that puts a lot of pressure on his back 3. If you're assigned to the front 8, then your back 3 have to watch that. Ball placed down at the 7-yard line. Joey Ehrman tackles Raymond Maples on the play. Gain of 6. No huddle offense. They'll check to the sideline, and all the skilled players will check to the sideline to see what their assignment's going to be. Ellison Here comes Dixon straight ahead. He gets to the 5 and maybe down to about the 4-yard line, but a 45-yard connection to Siobhan Lawrence. The big play on this drive so far. Zach Thompson on the tackle.
There's some of the this guy right here. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, that was Doc Blanchard.
That's correct. He wasn't a bad player.
Not a bad player. Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis. The Army teams in the mid-40s were something to see. Here's Steelman on his own, and Steelman gets to about the 2, driven back. Thompson leads the tackle.
Let's take a look at Army coming off the football. Double team in the tackle, get the lead block from Dixon, the fullback, and just enough for Steelman to get the first down. And that's what this offense is about. Yeah, they'll touch you for a big play if you allow it, but they're going to bludgeon you at 3, 4, 8, 5. They're trying to move the chains, and eventually here comes the goal line, and they're creeping up on it now at the 2-yard line.
Maples, Dixon, and Brown the setbacks for Steelman, the quarterback. First and goal. Is he in? Looks like it. They're going to mark him down on the 1-foot line. Now they just said touchdown.
He was laying on the back of his center, it looked like. Just quarterback sneak straight ahead. Good surge by Army to come off the football. Steelman just going to get in behind his right guard and center. Nice surge up front, blew the nose tackle out, and Steelman falls in. 4-year starter at Army, Prince Steelman. The first 4-year starter in the history at Army.
Point after a block picked up by Mack, and he'll be brought down. So Justin Jackson blocked the kick. We've got a penalty flag over there at the 12-yard line where Daniel Mack was brought down. So Steelman gets the touchdown. Army gets on the board with a surprise pass on their 5th play from scrimmage.
There is no foul for a horse collar tackle. It was a jersey grab and not inside the horse collar tackle. No foul on the play.
That's Brad Allen, our referee this afternoon. So Army strikes first, and Steelman goes in. He has 31 career rushing touchdowns. That score today. He had a couple last week against Northern Illinois.
Steve, impressive drive. Come out, move the football on the ground, get Wake Forest conscious of the ground attack, and then Rich Olson dials up the throw. Siobhan Lawrence with a huge play, and Army has already struck. It's 6-0 in Wake Forest.
Brought to you by AT&T, by Geico, by your local Toyota dealers, by Ruby Tuesday, and by PNC Bank. Well, I want to say that was our production breakfast, but I can only wish. Especially you gaze what's in the jug there. All right, Trent Steelman, 31st career touchdown run. He was the man through most of that drive. 56 of the 75 yards came from him, including the last 2 into the end zone. And Army takes a 6-0 lead in this game. Campanero, Reynolds, and Jackson are back to receive for Wake Forest on the kick. Fielded in the end zone. And this is Reynolds. Owen Reynolds comes out to about the 18-yard line. Let's take a look at our 4 keys to the game, Dave. As far as Army is concerned, we've seen some of it.
We just saw it run, a drive and run. That's obviously move the chains, get yourself in front of the end zone and score. They obviously made a play in the passing game as well. And for Wake, they've got to find a way to make sure they stay disciplined, not only defensively, but up front on their offensive line as well. Got some patchwork offensive lineman movement. Got to protect the quarterback, and this is the guy, Tanner Price, a guy that they feel like if they get him protected, he can be as good as anybody in the country.
Junior out of Austin, Texas. At the controls, pass to Campanero, and gets it to about the 24-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 6. Let's take a look at our CPI security systems. Starting lineups for the Demon Deacons. Josh Harrison leading ground gainer. Look for Ragland and Campanero to see a lot of balls this afternoon. Up front, it's a patchwork offensive line with only 1 returning starter from a year ago, and he's the center, Garrick Williams. A couple of guys, including Frank Souza, have been converted over from the defensive end. Gain of 6 brings up 2nd and 4. Price to pass. It is incomplete. Intended over there for Brandon Terry. Let's take a look at Army's defense. They play an eagle look. Jarrett Mackey will play his first game in over a year. He's a senior. He's a great leader on this team. The linebackers, led by Nate Combs, Bacon and Alex Meyer, are true freshmen, and two true freshmen in the secondary, Fulseer Jeffries and Chris Carnegie. 3rd down and 4. Blitz on, pass out, and it's complete. And that is going to be Brandon Terry.
Now, Brandon Terry just runs right down through the middle of the field, and something that they noticed on film is that they crowd the line of scrimmage. Army crowds the line of scrimmage to their safeties. And you see Fulseer Jeffries is just too tight, and Terry just runs right by him. Had that ball been on the money, a little bit late throw from Tanner Price, that he got out there. It was an easy touchdown.
1st and 10, Wake Forest after a 47-yard hookup. But Brandon Terry from Tanner Price. Here's Campanero on the end around. And Campanero gets close to the 1st down. He'll be down there at about the 19-yard line. Tackle made there by Alex Meyer. And also in on the play, Jeffrey Bacon. They'll use Campanero. He usually starts the formation. He'll come out. They'll try to fake that orbit sweep. That time they gave it to him, or they threw it to him out in the flats. Here's Jim Grove in his 12th season. Wake Forest ACC Coach of the Year in 2006. Took a team to the ACC Championship in that same year. He's done a great job here at Wake Forest. Got a whistle.
Wake Forest, their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So Wake takes the timeout. And we're going to take it with them right here. Jim Grove looking things over as his team is in the scoring zone, down 6-0.
Fred here in the ACC studios.
Now Buzz, anytime Buzz has a chance to eat, he's gonna take advantage of that. So I'm glad he had a chance to get some food in his gut.
Well, it makes the whole day go a lot easier, that's for sure. 1st and 10, Tanner Price and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And this is Price with the throw to Campanero, and he's out there by himself with 4 Army defenders out there. And he was able to make at least a yard on that play when it probably should have broken down all completely.
Yeah, a lot of play action. Now here's Campanero, got a block out in front. This is set up to get him the football as a secondary move here. Little bootleg off for Tanner Price. And Campanero, they're going to find a myriad of ways to get Campanero the football. He's an outstanding run after the catch guy, but they'll hand it to him, screens down the field. He's their game breaker guy.
And the extent of their play action tells you how concerned they are about being able to block for him and set up run lanes. Here comes a pass to Campanero, complete at the 11-yard line.
Good job by Tanner Price to get outside the pocket. That's always tough, rolling against your throwing arm like that. And Tanner did a good job squaring his shoulders and getting the ball to Campanero. Again, another way to get Campanero the ball, brought him across in motion, run the quick out route, throw him the football.
Team brings it down to about the 11. It's going to be an 8-yard gain there by Campanero. Tanner Price with his pass to Terry of 47 yards. Not only the longest pass play, it's the longest play this season for Wake Forest. And it takes Price over the 5,000-yard mark in career passing yards. 3rd down and 3, down 6-0. Price on the key. Has to push his lineman close to the 1st down, but I think he's going to be short at the 10. He needed the 9. Fulseer Jeffries on the tackle for Army.
Well, it's a tough one for Whit Barnes because the throw is down the field, so he has to stay behind the line of scrimmage, and then Price decides to keep. So you got to get that go, go, go call to Whit Barnes so he can turn it loose and get up the field. He's trying to stay legal behind the line of scrimmage, and he got downfield, obviously penalty, and he's throwing the ball to Campanero.
Now Wake Forest is not going to go for the field goal. They're going for the 1st down on 4th and 1. Bohannon and Harris are set up in the eye behind Tanner Price. Here comes Harris. Here comes a 1st down. And he stepped down to the 4-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Alex Meyer made the stop.
Nice job by the left side of the offensive line. We talked about Whit Barnes getting up to the next level, and how about Bohannon, number 42, the fullback, leading him through the hole. That's what Jim Grove's looking for in the running game. They have not been able to get that push up front. Bohannon is as good, number 42. Bohannon as good as there is at fullback. Block it out in front.
Well, they came into this game, Dave, averaging only 3.1 a carry. This is the 9th play of the drive now for Wake Forest. End around, it's going to be Campanero, and he is stretching into the end.
Boy, nice effort here. Is it the orbit sweep or the jet sweep? Gets a good block on the inside, and then really it's Campanero at the end of the play, wanting to be in the end zone, and lays out, keeps the knees off the ground. Good job by the official to see the play, and camps in the end zone.
Newman getting ready for the point after, and they're gonna, I think they're gonna review this play, and Brad Allen has just said they will. And obviously they're going to be looking for what Arch just pointed out, whether or not Campanero got his knee down before he got into the end zone.
And the part they're going to look at is right when the tackle is about to be made. Does Campanero's knee touch the ground? Because when he lays out, the knee is not on the ground. Because he does a good job of staying elevated there and breaking the plane. Was on the tackle right here. Let's see if the knee touches. Didn't see the knee touch. No, that's a touchdown. Nope. Excellent effort by Campanero to get into the end zone.
And great camera work. Look at that. And Brad Allen confirms what we just showed you. It's a touchdown for Wake Forest, and they get to do the point after now. Jimmy Newman for the point after. He was perfect in 6 attempts this season. Newman's kick is up, and Wake Forest takes the lead. A nice march highlighted by a 47-yard pass play, but it was this play by Mike Campanero that got him the score. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. Are ready to begin the day with Bow Time. Always a great place to get here early. Stake out your territory for some tailgating. Be a super tailgate hero with the Bojangles 12-piece super tailgate special. Remember, it's always Bow Time when you're tailgating. Everybody's out here with the fatigues. It's a military theme day today in many areas of the ACC. Right now, Wake Forest leads Army 7-6 after their 9-play march of 82 yards. Took them about 4 minutes to do it.
Steve, I'd say both these defenses have their work cut out for them today. Both offenses came to play from what we've seen here in the first quarter.
You saw Campanero had 5 touches in that 9-play drive, including the touchdown run. Newman with a kickoff. Rossetti and Frazier are back to get it, but nobody's bringing it up. That's number 9 in terms of touchbacks. Speaking of the military, that's the theme of this report from Mike Hogwood.
Yeah, it is Military Appreciation Day, and with the Army, there's so much tradition. Today, they're wearing the 82nd Airborne patch because they're based in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and obviously playing in North Carolina. The Airborne formed in 1917 in Georgia. You see that AA, they were nicknamed All-Americans back in the day. There's a plaque that they bring to the game, and as you can see, the appreciation for Army football players by great General George C. Marshall.
I want an officer for a secret and dangerous mission. I want a West Point football player. 1st and 10. Handoff for Army, and it's going to be for an instant 5 yards, and that's going to be to Larry Dixon.
Now, we talked about Army and the different ways they'll attack you. Steelman running with the football, and then how about over the top? If you get a little bit too caught up in what they're doing run game-wise, they'll hit you over the top. And the trap play that Steelman seals it with the opening drive touchdown over behind his center and right guard. So excellent job of moving the chains, being successful on 1st down. Big part of what they do, and they were successful here. 5 yards on 1st down in this drive.
They have more passing yards today than they had all season compiled to this date. The stretch play comes out to Malcolm Brown. Brown had been on the receiving corps that's had some scattered injuries because they have another good back in Terry Baggett, who is injured today, and so he has to move over into the running back slot. That's Raymond Maples. Coach Ellerson looking on. Nice chat with him earlier this week about the difficulty that these guys go through, especially freshmen. as football players and the things that they have to adjust to. Military life in the whole, and of course a very tough academic climate. Down the sidelines. And it's going to be Dixon who pops through, and he gets into Wake Forest territory at the 37-yard line. It's a 29-yard gain.
A big, good, hard running by the 240-pound sophomore. Watching him run through the tackle. Olsen, 41, the linebacker, just ran right through him. Boy, a tough time getting that big guy down. Over 100 yards a week ago.
Averages 4.8 a carry. Got some weight, 235 pounds. Enough to bring down 1st and 10.
236 yards a week ago against NIU and 3 touchdowns. He's the first option in this triple option attack.
Steelman will carry. Steelman on his way, and he gets inside the 25-yard line and brought down to about the 22. It's a 16-yard gain. Bud Noel on the tackle now for Wake Forest.
Well, watch this, a good fake, and then they're going to lead up in with the back, so it ends up being a lead play for the quarterback. So just 2 options there, either hand to the fullback, pull it, and now he's got 2 lead blockers. The 2 wingbacks are blocking for him through the hole. That's the part about this, Steve, is they change up the blocking scheme so often that it's really hard to read the keys if you're defense.
Plus, they've got Wake wondering here a little bit. Steelman can't pull it away in time. And he gets dropped for about a loss of a half a yard. Let's go to our ACC Network's studio in Charlotte and Dave Baker.
Thanks, Steve. Here's another Hardy's update. TCU extending its lead 14-0. Casey Paul Hall, 6-yard TD pass to Josh Boyce. It's 14-0 over Virginia.
Thank you very much, Buzz. Virginia taking on all they can chew this week after getting mauled by Georgia Tech a week ago. Loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down at 11 for Army. Here comes Maples, first carry of the day. The blockers in front of him, and Maples driven out of bounds. Knocked out of there by Mike Olsen.
Excellent job out in front. Whenever you run the ball to the perimeter, obviously the perimeter blocking has got to be solid. Watch the block out in front. There's the block. Malcolm Brown, number 23, right here, going to have to get a block. Or just get in the way, really. Did a nice job, and Maples right in behind him and picks up the 1st down.
Maples, Dixon, Brown. There is Dixon. Gets outside of the block, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Army. 12-yard touchdown run by Larry Dixon. It's his 9th career touchdown, and it puts Army in front.
Boy, you got a long day ahead of you if you're Wake Forest, and you don't get, this is the guy that starts with. If you can't get this guy tackled, and there's 1, 2, 3 tackles he runs through to get in the end zone. Larry Dixon, a big part of why Army's in the end zone for the 2nd time here in the 2nd drive.
Daniel Grochowski, here's the redshirt freshman, gets the kick away, and it is good. This time they make the point after. And the Black Knights of Army step out in front of Wake Forest 13-7. And Larry Dixon with a 12-yard run for the touchdown. You don't have to worry about missing a game this year. Each week, Haviland brings you highlights from every ACC football game. Visit the ACC Digital Network on the ACC.com or the ACC mobile app for game highlights, analysis, and more video. There'll be some highlights in Tallahassee tonight, don't you think? Clemson and Florida State should be quite a battle. Be interested to see how Clemson's defense responds.
Yeah, I think that's the big challenge, is can Clemson's defense stop what looks like a multifaceted attack for Florida State. They can run it, and of course this group was never doubted. Many thought this was the best defense in the country coming in, but then you saw the other side. What a great matchup with DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, Andre Ellington, and Taj Boyd. Wow, that is must-see TV.
And look at the comparison. Taj Boyd, Clemson quarterback, having a great season. And Chris Thompson, what a week he had last week, as these Demon Deacons can attest.
Man, we were here a year ago when Chris Thompson hurt his back and missed the remainder of the season. Had a monster day coming back a week ago. And that's really the missing element for Florida State. They weren't able to run it last year. Now able to run the football. Speaking of running the football, how about Larry Dixon?
Wow. Dixon on that drive, 3 rushes for 46 yards. This kick will go out of the end zone and drop back to the 25-yard line under the new rules set down. Let's go to the sidelines again and Mike Hogwood.
And Stephen Arch, I'm going to tell you that Army's really taking it to Wake Forest right now. One example, on that series, 3 Wake Forest players lost their helmet and had to come out of the game. And we're talking about key players like Daniel Mack and Mike Olson. You better buckle your chin strap today. The Wake Army came to play, no doubt about it.
Well, and Mike, you make a great point there, because if the frontliners haven't come off the field, you were repping against this multifaceted offense in triple option. How much did the backups get reps as to what they're supposed to do in assignments?
The handoff to Josh Harris. Nice hole that closed down quickly. Jeff Bacon helped out on the tackle, brought it out to the 30-yard line, a gain of 5, but Jim Grove will take that on a running play on first down.
Yeah, they really emphasized the fact that they needed to get their ground attack. They love what Tanner Price can do, distributing the football, obviously getting the ball to Michael Campanero, but they need to be able to run the football some, because they want to play action out of this pistol offense with Tanner Price in the gun and the running back standing in behind. They get the I formation scenario. They need to be able to play action.
Andre Martin is behind him. He'll get the handoff, and he'll head for the first down. So 2 good running plays here for Wake Forest, as they're now trying to take control of the clock and dominate the line of scrimmage. They'll get to the 36.
A good block by Michael Campanero. Talk about him catching the football there. But Campanero, number 3, is going to come in from the lefty side of your screen and get the block right there on the safety, Fulcher Jeffries. And a nice job hitting it up in there. DeAndre Martin.
7-yard gain, Arch. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 36. 13-7. Both offenses have worked very good on each of their drives. Price to his left. Pass to Campanero complete. Bacon on the tackle. And it's going to be for short yardage of about 3, maybe 4. 4th catch for Campanero. He's also scored a touchdown today.
Really well defended that time by Army. They came with a blitz off the slot. Campanero just hooked it up to give his quarterback someplace to throw it, but Army covered it up real quickly in just a 2-yard pickup.
Campanero and Carey come out wide one side. Ragland down to the bottom side. We got a flag. Looks like it's going to be illegal procedure.
Ball start. Offense number 75.
Frank Souza was a defensive tackle a year ago, and he has moved over to the offensive line. And that's some of the problems that they have: injuries and lack of depth in the offensive line.
Well, Souza moved over in the spring, so he had spring practice to work through and obviously fall camp. So you'd like to think that he's blended in at right guard, but you're right, Steve. You know, things change for you from tackling people to trying to get people blocked.
They fake, strikes back, over the middle. Got a man there. Campanero came into this game with 24 catches, and already he's got 5. Gets it out to the 48 for the first down.
Now, Campanero is a tough matchup for anybody, but he runs real precision routes, understands coverage, and a really good throw by Tanner Price under pressure. He was hit by 2 Army defenders as he let that one go. Not for the faint of heart against this Army defense. You better stand in there and get ready to get hit.
At 12 yards before Hayden Pierce tackled him. 2 yards shy of midfield, 1st and 10. Pass quickly to the flats. Campanero on his way. Flag on the play. He's up to the 45. 7-yard gain pending the flag. Chris Carnegie on the stop.
Looked like Tanner Price with a hard count there may have drawn Army offside. Now you decide, do you want 1st and 5, or do you take the throw to Campanero? Most coaches will take the 1st and 5 and line up at first down and forego the completion.
You're looking at 2nd and 3 there.
Offside. Defense number 59. 5 yards from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Send you back to our ACC Network studios and Dave Baker.
Hey, Steve, Maryland has erased a 14-0 deficit at number 8 West Virginia. Perry Hills, 12 yards to Marcus Leak. 14 all early in the second. Hills, 10 of 14, 142 yards and 2 TDs.
We saw Perry Hills a week ago. We're believers.
The freshman getting it done. Leak a sophomore. Diggs just got a touchdown. Good for them.
Oh, DeAndre Martin was putting the Jets on, and then all of a sudden, life stopped. Joffrey Bacon rather, went on the tackle. Good pursuit, but still a good, strong gain of about 9.
Well, DeAndre Martin, a kid they're really excited about, the redshirt freshman from Miami, Florida. He's got a lot going for him. Great speed.
Sneak by Price, gets the first down and moves the chain.
Martin threw a pass 2 weeks ago right here on this field against you. I watched it on film, and it's one thing to have a halfback pass, but it's another thing to throw a frozen rope right over the top of a defender for a 35-yard completion. And boy, I think if they had a problem at quarterback, they could put DeAndre Martin at quarterback if they wanted to.
He threw it with somebody in his face too. Wake Forest with the first down, 1st and 10 at the Army 41. Quick screen out to Campanaro, nobody there. And Campanaro gets some running room down the sideline. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. A 41-yard score. Michael Campanaro in the end zone for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, they got great isolation outside. Watch the block. 86, Brandon Terry's going to get the key block just at the top of your screen. And now Campanaro with the great speed. Talk about run after the catch. Campanaro is as good as there is in the ACC once he gets it in his hands. But a nice block by Brandon Terry to free him up.
Jimmy Newman in for the point after. The Army's point after miss sticks out like a sore thumb here. Now that Newman has put Wake Forest in front, 14-13. Michael Campanaro has hit the end zone for the 2nd time today. 14 rush yards, 71 receiving yards. He got 6 receptions on the day so far.
We talked about they were going to get Campanaro the ball any way they possibly could. His run after the catch is phenomenal. And just a quick screen to the outside, got the great block from Terry, and then the nice move along the sideline, and then the speed to put it in the end zone. Michael Campanaro.
And the Demon Deacons step up in front again and have the lead here, 14-13. Fans, check out the ACC road trip driven by Chevy with Tommy Kane and the crew. They're in Tallahassee this week. The Ultimate Road Trip Sweepstakes is back with a chance to win a trip to either the Country Music Awards in Nashville or the ACC Football Championship game in Charlotte. To enter, log on to the ACC.com/road trip or visit us on Facebook. TK always brings something back.
Yeah, he's down there at Tallahassee tonight.
That's going to be fun down there. Bill Campbell. 2 top 10 teams in the ACC meeting each other for the first time in 5 years. Michael Campanaro with the 2nd touchdown of the day. Here's Frazier on the return. And he'll bring it out to about the 27-yard line. A 15-yard return. Our Edge of the Game is brought to you by the Principal Financial Group, and, well, 4 combined scoring drives, all 75-plus yards in 3 minutes each. Both coaches have got to be happy.
Well, they got to be happy with their offenses. They're certainly not happy with their defenses. And we kind of had a feeling that the offenses were going to dictate what happened here. It's just, can you get a stop defensively, create the ball, get the ball out on the ground, do something to create a short field for your offense or an extra possession.
Dixon, Brown, and Maples are in back of Steelman. And this is going to be the quarterback, Steelman, straight ahead. He slipped as he tried to surge ahead there, making sure he stays down as Mike Olson, a gain of 2. Still, it's amazing that Steelman's able to get some yardage.
Well, excellent penetration that time. Zach Thompson with the penetration. He's been a little banged up this year, number 98, Zach Thompson, but he's created some problems there.
Steelman came into this game leading 5 touchdowns and 123 yards to pass Torrey Crawford as the all-time leading quarterback at Army. Handoff goes to Dixon. He plows straight ahead. He's already scored once. It's close to the first down. He's got 8 yards on it there. A good first quarter that's about to come to an end here. And it does. 4 possessions, 4 scores. And the Wake Forest Demon Deacons at homecoming, looking to get back in the win column. They're up by 1 over Army in the 12th meeting between these two teams in Winston-Salem. Welcome back to Winston-Salem. We get ready to go here in the second quarter. First play from scrimmage, a 3-yard gain. Gives Army a first down after Larry Dixon got it close. Here comes Brown. Nice big hole off left guard. Into a host of tacklers, just 4 yards shy of midfield. It's going to be a nice gain of 7 on the play. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hawkwood.
Sees an all-ACC nose guard Nikita Whitlock is still out. He's got a high ankle sprain. In his place today at nose guard, 18 years old, Tyler Harris, number 36, got his work cut out for him, Steve.
Sure has. Just got blocked in that situation, and Steelman brought it out. Just gets a short gain. He's going to be shy of the first down. Daniel Mack in on the tackle.
Did a good job of standing up the center, getting in on the play, on the fullback. He didn't have the ball, but that's what you're supposed to. Assignment football for Wake must tackle the fullback on every play. Larry Dixon must be tackled every play.
Steelman goes ahead for the quarterback keep into Wake territory at the 49 for the first down. But you said it earlier that Wake practiced without the ball defensively for Army this week.
Well, they're so good at reading it that if you don't get each portion of the triple option tackled, at some point that guy's going to have the football. So they just trained at, hey, let's make sure we take care of our assignments and tackle each guy.
1st and 10. We've had 4 possessions, 4 scores, 2 each side. It's been a dull day for the punter. And off Dixon. Dixon gets a little bit of run, but not much. Our first quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Lottery. This year, the North Carolina Education Lottery will provide more than $73 million to students to help pay for college. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org. I'm amazed that average per play is astounding. Both over 9 yards per play.
Here's what you look at now as you start to look at how close the safeties are for Wake. You see there are 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's when you begin to think about taking a shot.
And Army took them 5 plays to take a shot, resulted in a 57-yard or 47-yard pass complete. 2 more yards for Dixon. Moves the ball to the 44-yard line, brings up 3rd down.
Once again, we're talking about the freshman. You heard Hogg talk about it, Taylor Harris.
Army
doing a good job.
Army 15 of 31 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and medium is their specialty. Inside it goes to Brown. Malcolm Brown, who started the week thinking he was a wide receiver, pressed into the running back core and gets down to the 23-yard line. A gain of 10 for a first down. A.J. Marshall on the stop.
First down Army.
He comes running right up, but they're going to check with the sidelines every play. For the first time this season, Tarantine is going to be in the game. And off, this is Maples. Maples down the sideline and close to the touchdown. He's driven out at the 1-yard line. Daniel Mack makes a score-saving tackle. A 33-yard gain by Maples.
Now this is the trap play where they come backside. You're thinking triple option, and you see the quarterback turn. All of a sudden he reverses out and hands the Maples back through the middle with the trap play, and a huge gash in there. You're trying to read your keys and read the offensive line. If you're a linebacker, you step out of position, they trap you out the backside.
Maples had 158 yards a week ago. Touchdown, Steelman again.
This quarterback keep, a lead option play, just looking for room to lean into the end zone. Steelman's doing a great job of directing this offense. They're doing a good job of making calls from the sideline, getting the right call in against this 34 defense. See, just kind of not really a fake, kind of a token fake, and he lets Dixon lead him in the hole. At 240 pounds, not a bad guy to fold in behind. Get him behind Larry Dixon.
Wachowski's kick is good, and Army stays a pace ahead of Wake Forest here, 20-14. Here is Maples' run. 38 yards, gets it down to the 1-yard line. And then Steelman, Trent Steelman, his second touchdown of the day. ACC football is brought to you by Geico, by Ruby Tuesday, by your local Toyota dealers, and by CPI Security Systems. And there's the Demon Deacon outside BB&T Field here in Winston-Salem. It's homecoming for the Demon Deacons, but Army's trying to crash it with 223 total offense yards. Steelman with his second touchdown run of the day. 11 plays, 73 yards.
Well, it tells you how difficult it is to shift gears for Wake Forest, playing what they saw at Florida State last week, and now it's in a completely different philosophy. Got to be so disciplined on defense, and then all of a sudden they'll switch you up like the Maples play, which we'll show you in a few moments, where your keys are completely off guard. So a very difficult week for Wake to get ready to try to defend this triple option.
Here comes the kick by Wachowski. It will not be returned. And let's go back to this last drive and the play that set up the touchdown. This is Raymond Maples.
Yeah, you're going to get Flo here. Flo's going to come this way, so Olsen is going to move this way, and then he gets ear-holed by the guard right here, and they run right in that gap right there.
Ear-hold, I like that. That sounds like a euphemism for something more violent.
Yes, but it's a trap play. You're trapping the linebacker, but he sees Flo, so he's trying to read and get across the face of the front side guard, and all of a sudden here comes the backside guard, and he just ear holes him.
There's that word again.
Yeah, hitting him in the ear hole of the helmet.
Pass intended for Lavelle Jackson was incomplete. Covering on the play was Hayden Pierce. And we haven't had a play that didn't get any yardage for a long time in this game.
Yeah. That's a good job by Army this time. They just kind of squatted down on the routes outside. Tanner Price had to kind of throw the ball away. There wasn't anybody open.
Duke and Wake Forest has always been down to the finish the last 5 or 6 years, and we'll see it again next week right here from BB&T Field in Winston-Salem on the ACC Network. Second down and 10. This is Harris. A little bit of running room. Bacon on the tackle. Gets him out to about the 29-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. It'll bring up third down.
Watch the flow. If you don't get the second level block, excellent job by Jeffrey Bacon, the middle linebacker, to flow across. Whenever you have successful running plays, it's when that offensive line can get the first level and then slip somebody to the second level and get a linebacker block. Nice job by Bacon to flow and make the play.
Wake Forest 1 of 2 on third down. They were 1 of 16 against Florida State a week ago. Tanner Price will carry this one, but he's going to be short. He needed 7. He got out to about the 33. Gain of about 4.
Looked like Alex Meyer was able to come up and stop him short. And this is really the story. This is an early story here to try to get it stopped. One of the defenses create a punting situation.
This is the first punting situation of the day. It brings out redshirt freshman Alex Kinnell. Kinnell is from Australia. Graduated from high school, was working in construction. Saw Australian kickers on American football. Decided he might see if he had some eligibility left and if anybody wanted to use his leg. And this punt is going to be rolled dead down to the 26-yard line. It's a 38 punt. There's no return. Army with the ball when we come back, leading by 6.
What's happening in the Twitter world with our AT&T fan tweets? And how about Rusty LaRue, the former quarterback, the basketball player, and the baseball player? He says it is a great day to be a Deacon. Steve Martin?
I would agree. Rusty LaRue, probably one of the most versatile athletes in Wake Forest history. Glad to have him in our audience, either live in the stadium or wherever he may be watching. Army with the lead here, 20-14. 10-10 till halftime. It's been all offense. Army 26 plays, 25 rush, 1 pass, but it was certainly a surprise on the 5th play of the game. Here's Steelman with a pitch. To the corner, that's Brown. And he'll drag Joey Ehrman. near the 50-yard line after the 48, a gain of 19. A lot of double-digit gains here, Arch, for the Army offense.
Well, this is the third option, the triple option attack is pitched to the outside. Now you got to get perimeter blocks. Stephen Frazier, 27 right there. And Siobhan Lawrence, 21, just outside your screen, got blocks to free him up on the run. Excellent job of blocking on the perimeter by Army.
First and 10, Steelman with a keep, but nothing doing. And Redding is in there. Chris Redding, junior from Douglasville, Georgia, with a 2-yard loss.
Excellent job by Redding to defeat the block, get into the quarterback's face, and put him on the ground. First negative play we've seen for Army so far today.
Second down and 11. You say, Arch, first time they've been off schedule. Frazier in motion, and he gets a handoff and gets hit in the backfield. Gets maybe a half a yard, a little less than 1. Justin Jackson helped out. Closed captioning for ACC football is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
Back-to-back plays by Chris Redding. That time he redirected the runner and allowed some of his mates to come up and make the play. But Redding, number 90, playing big time in this drive on defense.
3rd and 11, Arch, and they are 5 of 5. Army is on 3rd down this afternoon.
Well, they have not seen a 3rd and 11, and this is completely off schedule for an offense that wants to run it.
Steelman, the pitch to the corner. And it's going to be to Frazier, and he gets knocked around there. And Mike Olson laid a lick on him at the Wake Forest 47. It's going to be shy of the first down. 5-yard gain.
Well, and a good job by Kevin Johnson, number 9. You're going to see him show up on the left of your screen. He's the corner. He gets blocked, but then he gets back up off the ground and doesn't give a free run lane. And does an outstanding job against Malcolm Brown to slow Brown down enough to where Wake can come over and make the play. And so Wake's defense answers Army's defense with a stop.
Chris Bolt's going to punt for the first time this afternoon for Army. Campanaro back to get it. Campanaro has it at the 10. He'll run. Gets a nice block from Johnson. Goes straight ahead and brought down at the 20-yard line. 37-yard punt. And it's a 9-yard return for Campanaro. Got a timeout. Wake Chapel as you look at the Wake Forest campus. Back after this word from your local ACC station. Exclusive production of Raycom Sports. 54% of the country can see our games. 62 million households. Glad to have you on board on this Saturday afternoon. And we've got a good one. Army 20-14 over Wake Forest. Steve Martin, Dave Archer, and Mike Hogwood here at BB&T Field in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Wake Forest comes out. Defenses seem to be digging in. Both teams forced to punt last time they had the ball. Twice to throw. Has some time. To the sidelines, no one. PNC Bank presents our hardest working player. There can be none harder than Brandon Whittington. He's a senior defensive back. He walked on back in 2009. Key role as a reserve cornerback and special teams ace, but his big role as he was named first captain of the U.S. Corps of Cadets. That's the highest position in the West Point Cadet chain of command. Responsible for the overall performance of 4,400 cadets. John Pershing, Douglas MacArthur, Pete Dawkins. A few of the people who have filled that prestigious position. Campanaro with a pass complete, and he's got the first down. 13-yard gain, Bacon on the tackle, but that is that really emphasizes what this is all about. It's not just developing soldiers, but soldiers who lead other soldiers.
And it's amazing, Steve, when we had a chance to talk to Rich Ellerson and his staff this week, all the stuff these guys are responsible for other than playing football. And obviously football is, they feel, is a character building team concept that they like to build as part of the classroom experience, if they will, for these young guys as they go on to lead respective men in the armed services, men and women in the armed services.
Campanaro on the inside handoff on the end around. This guy finds more ways to manufacture yardage. He gets out 14 yards to the 48.
Well, he's got 7 catches on the day, and here's another way they get him the ball. It's the little jet sweep coming around the edge, and he's one of the return guys. All they really try to do for this guy is to set up potential punt return scenarios for him. He's so good with the ball in his hands. We saw him score on the quick screen to the outside, and here just handing him the football and letting him go.
He handles the ball just about as much as Tanner Price does. 1st and 10. Price has some time, goes down the middle, and it's going to be picked off. Chris Carnegie, no, he fumbled the ball. It's recovered by Army, and it's going to be Army's ball on the turnover. How about that? True freshman Chris Carnegie out of Oakland, California, picks off the floater by Tanner Price.
Well, it's the right decision by Price because he gets a receiver one-on-one deep. I can't tell where the ball slips out. Jeffrey Bacon is going to come on the pressure 8 right in his face. It looked like he lost the ball a little bit in his hand and just did not get it on the receiver.
He's looking for Ragland.
Yeah. Watch Bacon come. The linebacker gets the hit. Really didn't change the throw. He wasn't able to follow through on the throw, but it looked like he kind of lost the grip of the football as he tried to send it deep. Now the question is, did they hang on to the football at the other end?
Yeah, long enough. It's going to be if it is ruled a catch, meaning an interception, it would be the 3rd thrown by Tanner Price this year. They'll look at it up here in the review.
Let's take a look at the back end of this play.
Oh yeah, he made a football fumble when he hit the ground. So I would think the catch is good. Knee down, no fumble, interception.
I would think that, you know, he's got to complete the catch. Again, he's going to the ground, so you got to hang on to the football to the ground. And it looked like to me, going to the ground, he lost it. Had he been tackled and the ball came in, obviously fumble scenario. There it looked like, I don't know that he ever secured it through the catch, through the ground.
Let's see.
After further review, the pass was not intercepted.
You're right, Art. And it comes back for Wake Forest. A deep sigh of relief for Jim Grove and company. And all it is a long incompletion. Ends up 2nd down. That came close to being picked off on that floater thrown by Tanner Price.
No, and that's the one, you know, frankly, Rich Ellison expects his guy to make. Carnegie's got to make that catch for him, get Wake Forest offense off the field.
Ragland carrying Campanaro. That's Campanaro in motion. They'll go the opposite way with a handoff this time. DeAndre Martin. He makes some pretty good yards. Waylon Washington is in there on the tackle. Gain of 8. Both teams can be pretty proud of the yardage that they've gained here this afternoon. That's a big chunk.
Well, and I think that they're probably proud of their offensive lines. We talked about coming in. Wake Forest offensive line really banged up. They've got guys playing out of position that have had to slide from guard to tackle, but they've actually done a really nice job of really blocking a confusing scheme up front because Army likes to jump around, get guys in the gap, safeties creep up. So they've done a nice job of getting people blocked.
Now they've got to honor where Campanaro lines up. And off Martin. DeAndre Martin for extra yardage, and he's knocked out of bounds. Out of bounds by Carnegie. There's a flag thrown in late. It could be a face down. 18-yard gain, possibly more after the penalty.
This might be on Brown. It looked like he reached up and grabbed the face mask of the Army defender.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense 23. After this is to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Let's take a look at DeAndre Martin. Good blocking at the point of attack. Excellent job by Bohannon, 42 out in front. Now, yep, face mask, little quick face mask. Looks like Carnegie, number 3, can reach up and grab the left side of the face mask. And DeAndre Martin with a pretty good stiff arm there too, but good call by the officials.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Here's Martin again, gets a block. And Martin gets down inside the 10-yard line to about the 7. Gain of 6 on the play. And you want to talk about efficiency in the red zone. Wake Forest has been efficient as far as defending the red zone. Army on the year Brought to you by CPI Security. 9 possessions in the red zone. They've yielded 6 touchdowns. No field goals. Second down. Campanaro can't turn the corner. Turns out of bounds at the 7. No gain. Jeffrey Bacon was going to be there to stop him.
Whenever you run the ball wide, you have to string it out. You almost have to play it like a punter trim and stay in lane. Look at how the Army strings it out. Everybody's in a lane. Campanaro is walled off and has to go out of bounds. Nice job by Army to really string the play, but to stay where they needed to be. Play your assignment. Everybody stayed at home and were able to push him out of bounds.
Ends up third down. Wake Forest 2 of 4 on third down. They're at the 7. Pass to the corner. Campanaro. Touchdown. For the 3rd time today, Michael Campanaro is in the end zone for the men in black. 7-yard touchdown pass from Tanner Price.
Maybe the best throw by Tanner Price today. This is a low percentage throw, the fade route. That's why most defensive coordinators will go ahead and yield this and use the sideline as an extra defender. Watch where he puts this football. Drops it right down the chimney chute, right in the arms of Campanaro. Waverly, Washington's there, the corner, but just a perfect throw from Tanner Price.
And Newman. Wake Forest goes for the lead, gets the point after. And the Demon Deacons are in front once again. Had 3 lead changes in this game so far today. Michael Campanaro with 3 scores. This one through the air. Timeout on the field. All right, Dave Baker, thank you very much. Wake Forest 21-20 here at Winston-Salem. Michael Campanaro, his 3rd touchdown of the day. His 2nd touchdown reception, which sets a personal career high for him in a game. 9-play march helped in part by an incomplete pass that could have been an interception. He's got 8 catches today. He had 13 against North Carolina 2 weeks ago. This is Frazier 1 yard deep. Frazier, nice return out to the 33-yard line. Stephen Frazier on the return. Check out the new Team Pages section of the ACC.com, brought to you by Toyota. You'll find exclusive video and features on your favorite team from the ACC Digital Network. Access anytime, anywhere.
No, Army just needs to get back to doing what they were doing. They had one drive where they were stopped. Got to get Chris Redding blocked. Chris Redding was a big part of why Wake Forest was able to shut Army down in the last drive.
Handoff goes to Maple. First down. Army has moved the chains up to the last drive. 114 of 202 total yards gained on first down. That's an average of 7.6.
Well, and it sets the table for everything else you want to do. If you can be positive and stay on schedule running the football, then things come together for you.
Second pass of the day, maybe by Steelman. He'll try to tuck it under when Wade covers and gets brought down by Mike Olson. Helped out by Zach Thompson. That brings him up to 3rd.
Good pursuit by Olson. Here he is. He's going to try to track down Steelman. Olson going to step up, defend the run, and now he's clean and just going to try to get the quarterback on the ground. Excellent job of being relentless by Mike Olson, the middle backer.
Army missed their first 3rd down situation on the last drive. Here comes Dixon. And they won't miss it again. They're out to the 45-yard line. An 8-yard gain. Tyler Harris, the true freshman, makes the tackle, but it's a first down. Coming up on halftime, it's the Hyundai halftime report. Dave Baker talking about and have highlights from Virginia TCU, Bowling Green, Virginia Tech, and the Maryland-West Virginia game that at last look was tied. And more in the top 10 matchup in Tallahassee between Clemson and Florida State. Inside handoff. One of the meekest plays on first down they've run. A gain of 1. Chris Redding on the tackle.
That's the guy they're trying to option on that first part of the triple option. Is Chris Redding, number 90, the defensive end in this situation.
This is Dixon again. Dixon makes some pretty good yards that time. Tripped up by Joey Ehrman as he went by. No, actually Riley Haynes tripped him up after a 7-yard gain. But third down and 3. They're 6 of 7 on third down conversions this afternoon. They're on the Wake side of the field. Handoff Brown, hit and short. Riley Haynes with another big tackle for the Wake Forest Demon Deep.
Well, this is that backside trap play they've had success with. Riley Haynes beats the block. You see the missed block there. And he fights through. Steven Shoemaker missed the trap on Haynes. He read the play, stepped in and made the play.
Well, he's going for it on 4th and 1. Brown, Dixon, and Maples in the backfield. Everybody up tight. Steelman will carry. Hit. Close. Interesting how they spot this. No, I think it's going to be good enough for a first down. Zach Thompson brought him down, but they're going to bring the change in. It's close enough to measure. Says that out.
It's very close, Steve. This is a nose of the football stuff here. Just the lead play, very similar to the play we saw him score on earlier. Good job by Wake to play the, which essentially is an I formation, just lead play from fullback.
My goodness. He just got it. First down for Army. Steelman with very few inches to spare.
You don't think the 4-year quarterback sweated that at all, did you?
No, he did.
Perfect. Yeah.
Kidding me?
His first rodeo. First time the kid has started all 4 years in the Army quarterback.
Lots of records stand for the taking for this young man. Steelman back to throw. Has a man downfield. No. Good coverage by Wake that time. A.J. Marshall, they were looking for Siobhan Lawrence.
Yeah, it's a well-thrown ball, too, because good job by Steelman to throw it away from the safety. Really takes Siobhan Lawrence up the field with the throw, and he just looked like he may have lost the ball there a little bit, but a really well-thrown ball that time by Steelman.
He had to look right back into the direction of the sun to get it. 2nd down and 10. 9th play of the drive. Clock ticking away. Less than 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Steelman twists. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ehrman makes sure it doesn't go anymore. Joey Ehrman, 3-yard gain. He's up 3rd down and 7.
Again, Chris Redding is in the backfield on the play. That's the guy they've decided to try to option on that handoff to Dixon. That time, Dixon's able to snake up in.
3rd down and 7. And now a timeout taken by Army here to talk things over. An important 3rd down. They went for it on 4th last time. They were successful. They are now 6 of 8 on 3rd down plays so far in this first half. Ruby Tuesday takes us around the ACC to check in on some conference action this weekend. West Virginia up on Maryland, up at Morgantown by 10. TCU leading Virginia by 2 touchdowns in the 3rd. Virginia Tech at Blacksburg, 21-0. Dave and Tommy will have highlights of those games. Later on, Miami, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech with a big win. North Carolina out of conference. Tough draw for NC State. The Citadel buried Appalachian a week ago. Memphis at home against, or Duke at home against Memphis. And then the big game of the day, Florida State and Clemson. And look at that. Yards per game, but points and yards allowed are important. Florida State's defense will be important.
Well, and you don't know about Florida State's defense because they played Murray State and Savannah State. And of course, they had a big game against Wake Forest, so that'll be an uncertainty going in. Can they keep up with Clemson's offense?
3rd down. About 7. Rolling. Here's Steelman. Steelman gets the first down, still on his feet at the 31. Game of the play of close to 10. Ehrman on the tackle for Wake Forest, but moved the chains for Army again.
Boy, nice decision by Steelman. Just a flood pattern sprint to his right. Had Maples in the flat, made Petros play Maples on the throw, and then just tucked it and picked up the first down. Good smart play by the senior quarterback.
They attention to the clock here, 55 seconds left. Here's Dixon. Boy, he hauls people with him. What a load. And he gets some nice yardage down inside the 25 to the 23, 8 yards. Brings up second and 2, Mike Olson. Tackled him, sort of. Caught him, I guess.
Yeah,
That's description.
grab hold of his mud flap as he was running over the top of it.
Got a timeout now. And this is going to be taken, I think, by Army. Newly designed official ACC mobile apps presented by Carrabba's are available on your Android, iPhone, iPad, or Nokia Lumia Windows. Live games, video, scores, stats, and news. It's all there for you. Visit theacc.com/apps to download today.
Well, for Army, you only have 47 seconds left. You've got one timeout, so a little bit hamstrung here a little bit as to whether you can stay with what you like to do, and that's feature the running game. So there's got to be maybe some run-pass options built in for Steelman. Had some success with the sprint out, and they are singled on the outside. You look out here, single coverage here and down at the bottom.
Handoff goes to Maples. Maples breaks tackles, gets the first down. That stops the clock while they'll set the chains. A 10-yard gain will take them down to the 12, maybe the 13-yard line. They have one timeout remaining, but the clock moves now with the ball set. Steelman hands off. This is Brown. Brown steps over his own lineman to get to the 8. The gain of 5, 27 seconds. You say, why not a field goal? Well, they haven't kicked one all season. Second down, handoff Maples, and he gets to the 3. This may cause a timeout. Clock running still. No timeout for Army. They've got one left. Zach Thompson on the tackle for Wake. They'll let it go down, and it looks like they're going to probably set up for either a last play or a field goal attempt.
Yeah, interesting way to play that with a timeout in your pocket and a senior quarterback. Maybe a little run-pass option for Steelman there. You know, go ahead and burn the timeout with about 16 or 17 seconds left and give Steelman an opportunity to run pass option. Let him know, hey, you can't be tackled in bounds. You feel like you can be tackled without getting to the end zone, throw the ball out of bounds. We'll line up and kick the field goal. But Rich Ellerson decides to run it down and kick the field goal.
Well, let's have a look at our Haviland defensive shield, and there's a player on the field, Merrill Bud Noel, and he's a sophomore from Pahokee, Florida. An outstanding defender and has accomplished some things. He's got 2 career interceptions in his career.
He's one of the top in the country last year in passes defensed, Merrill Noel. A bright future for him today, having to come up and play the run as opposed to play the pass.
Daniel Gruchowski will be trying his first field goal attempt of the year. It will be a 21-yarder from slightly to the left. Gruchowski's already missed a point after from similar distance today. The kick is up, and this one is good. And that puts Army back on top as the first half comes to an end. So Rich Ellerson watches his team drive downfield. They take the timeout with 3 seconds left. Daniel Gruchowski will kick the field goal from 21 and put Army up in front in a seesaw, interesting game. It's homecoming at Wake Forest, and we couldn't ask for a better football game between these 2 teams this afternoon. Black Knights are looking for their first win this season. Of course, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons getting ready for conference play next week. Would like to have something on the positive channel. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Well, Richard, not a lot to complain about that offense. What a half.
Well, we're doing a nice job on offense. We feel like we can't miss a turn. You know, we can't pass up on any opportunities there. Defensively, we've got to get ourselves a stop.
Yeah, well, what do you have to do specifically on defense now to shut down Wake?
Frankly, it's just some guys settling into the defense, getting used to playing college football. You know, we got some young guys out there. We're not getting a lot we haven't seen. Just got to settle in and make some plays.
All right, good luck second half.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, that's Rich Ellerson. Now we'll send it back to our ACC Blitz studio in Charlotte. Here's Buzz Baker and Tommy Bowden. Steve, Jim, what'd you tell your team in the locker room?
Well, we got to play better. Offense is playing pretty good. We got to continue to do that. We got to, do great things when we're on offense because it's hard to slow these guys down. The problem is, Mike, first really full speed practice you get on these guys is game day, and so we talked to them at halftime. We can play better, but we've got to. This is a pretty good offensive football.
Any specific adjustments defensively?
Well, I think some of the techniques that we've got, we haven't played very well. I think we're looking more at trying to play our techniques. We had too many guys on the ground in the first half. We got to keep our feet, make plays.
All right, good luck second half.
Thank you, Mike.
That's Jim Grobstein.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, you can tell by the way Jim, kind of an up-tempo talk right there, his vernacular, very up-tempo. That's kind of how they had to coach at halftime, because like he said, this is full-speed action attacking this triple option offense.
ACC football games are brought to you in high definition by the ACC Network, and we're just about ready to go. Army will kick it off here in the second half. Lavelle Jackson and Orville Williams, or Reynolds rather, will return. Tanner Price in this game, 9 of 13. He's had pretty good time to throw. Hasn't been sacked thus far this afternoon with 2 touchdowns. Campanero's been his flavor of the day with 9 receptions. We're ready to go. There's the kick by Gurchowski, and it's going to go out of bounds, or to the end zone actually, and it's going to be first and 10 to the 25.
Steve, let's take a look at Michael Campanero earlier in the game. Outstanding job of stretching, getting the ball in the end zone. What I want you to look for is how many different ways he catches but gets the football. Whether it's the quick screen, as this one he took the distance. Here's the little fade route, one-on-one on the outside. They've also handed him the football. 3 touchdowns on the day for Michael Campanero. And you can bet that that was the guy that they talked about at Rich Ellerson with Army is, hey, let's find Michael Campanero and see if we can get him on the ground.
So the touch is there. Here comes the handoff to Harris. And Wake Forest has gotten some ground yardage on their ground game. And Harris out to the 30-yard line, a 5-yard gain. Let's put the dot on Michael Campanero here. 12 touches, 28 yards on the ground, 91 in the air, and 3 touchdowns. That's just for the first half.
Well, and he's touched it in a number of areas. Handed him the football, you've thrown the quick screen, you've thrown it down the field, the fade route for the touchdown. So it's really been difficult to locate him, first of all, and then get him on the ground. He's up here at the top right now.
Standing behind Ragland. Here's Harris, picks his way through. He's found some nice holes, and he's got a first down at the Wake Forest 36-yard line. Another gain of 6.
Mike Hogwood talked to both coaches. He talked to Rich Ellerson going in at halftime. Coach talked to Jim Brooks a few moments ago, and both of them talked about we need to get a stop or 2 defensively. They understand that they're not going to stop these offenses completely, but somehow how do you get them off the field off turn and give yourself one more possession so you can maybe take the lead.
Hunter for either side has only been out on the field once this afternoon. The rest of the time the offense has found the end zone. Bootleg here for Price, pass complete. And it's going to be to his tight end, Spencer Bishop, for the first time this season. Junior from Pinehurst, North Carolina, gets a 13-yard gain and moves the chains to the 49.
It's after a throw by Tanner Price. Now you get the bootleg play, gets the flow away, and here comes Bishop. Nice soft throw on target, right on the numbers. Allows his big tight end to squeeze it for first down.
Campanero and Terry split wide to the top, Ragland to the bottom. On first and 10, a yard shy of midfield. Quick drop back, screen flare out now to Campanero. And he gets about 5 yards to the 46 of Army. Late possessions in the first half have been very economical. They've had 3 touchdowns and 1 punt for this afternoon. They're faced with 2nd and 7.
And they've executed extremely well. You saw that last play, the screen outside, got the great block from Terry. 5-yard pickup. The screen game is an extension of your running game and stretches you from sideline to sideline. They're operating extremely well there.
And off Harris. Big block on Bacon, and Harris gets into Army territory at the 38-yard line. Bohannon hit a big block on Harris. Fusilier Jeffries with the tackle. It's an 8-yard gain.
Watch Bohannon, 42. There's the block right there. Excellent block on Bacon, the linebacker. And boy, that's the best. Can't ask for a better friend as a tailback, and you've got a fullback that likes to shorten necks.
When you figure it that a fullback gets to play as a 2 freshman. Back to throw. Here's Price down the middle. Pass complete. Campanero. After the catch, he gets inside the 20 to the 18. Gain of 19, his 10th catch on the day.
Well, what a nice job by Campanero to attack the football. I want you to watch Campanero work back to the ball. There's a defender coming. He's going to go get the football just underneath the Army defender and then get back upfield after he catches. That's a great job by Campanero to understand that defense was closing. He went and got the football for his quarterback.
Aiden Pierce had to help out. First and 10. Wake now in the red zone again. scored all 5 times they've been there this year. Here's Harris. Hit from behind, still keeps his feet, still moving, touchdown! What a play by Josh Harris, 19-yard touchdown.
Well, what unbelievable balance now by Josh Harris. The safety is going to come across and make the hit right there, but he did not wrap up. Josh Harris put the left hand on the ground and kept himself up. What an excellent run for Josh Harris.
3rd touchdown of the year for him, and his 13th of his career, and the first touchdown by a Wake Forest player with some other name other than Campanero. Jimmy Newman getting ready for the point after.
Take a look to see if Josh Harris's knee touched the ground. Anytime you have an incredible play, much like Campanero earlier in the game, let's see if Josh Harris's knee touches down on the hit coming up right here. Now going to spin, and you can see daylight under that knee.
That's close. That's why they're replaying.
I don't think he flipped that over. I think that's just an outstanding individual effort by Josh Harris.
This was the Josh Harris drive, really. He had 4 carries on him for 38 yards and a touchdown, pending review here.
See, he indicated his needs. In fact, we had a really good angle. Our shot from the sideline was very good there. Showed daylight between the knee and the ground.
He's had a couple of key plays that have been tossed to the replay booth. An interception has been taken away from Army. That helped Wake Forest push for Campanero's 3rd score of this game. And now let's see what happens. There's Steve Lubotsky, the offensive coordinator. He's been with Jim Grove a long time. They were both on the staff at Air Force.
Yeah, not lost on this staff that spent a lot of time at Air Force. We had a chance to talk to Wake staff last week or yesterday, and they talked about how important it is and how difficult it is for these kids to get dialed in from Army, because they had the experience at Wake at Air Force and understood how the commitment these kids have, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to practice football and then going on and doing what they have to do as a cadet. Unbelievable schedule these kids keep at Army.
Rich Ellison was pretty eloquent about that. He said, we practice them at 6:50, so when they leave the field at 8:30, they worry nothing about football. They worry about their duties as a cadet. They worry about their studies. They have the rest of the day to take that, and it probably turns into a nightmare for the registrar to get them all on the same class schedule, but it turns out to be very beneficial for them.
And he talked about the football field as an extension of the classroom, and they're learning the leadership qualities that they'll have to show as they move on in their careers, but also the team building concept of them together, working together for a common goal. This is just part of the classroom experience in Rich Ellerson's mind. He really gets the whole idea of how to help these kids be the best they can.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Touchdown. Brad Allen and the review booth decide that Josh Harris did not touch, and we had a great shot of that to prove just that point. It's the 7th lead change of this game. And Jimmy Newman is on to try to extend the lead to 5 for the point after.
Coach loves the
Right straight through the uprights. And Wake Forest now takes a 28-23 lead. 7th lead change of the afternoon. I got a feeling more are coming. We've got a timeout. Being brought to you by BB&T, by your Carolina Ford dealers, by Hardee's, by Haviland, and by Food Lion. A look at Wake Chapel on the campus of Wake Forest University, about a mile away from BB&T Field. Wake Forest here 28-23. You know, nothing gets you closer to the must-see moments. Josh Harris, of course, the 19-yard touchdown run, 7 plays, 75 yards, 255. That was his drive. Wake Forest discovered their ground game here this afternoon, which is something that Jim Grove was very, very concerned about. Herman getting ready to kick it away. And it's going to go out of the end zone. Nothing gets you closer to the must-see moments of the day than the ACC Digital Network. If you missed it or you want to see it again, well, we got you covered. And on Saturday mornings, catch ACC Kickoff live at 11 a.m. The Digital Network brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Go to youtube.com/ACC Digital Network and join the guys, Dorsey Levitz, Riley Skinner, and Jeff Fischel, every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. 1st and 10, Army now, working from their own 25. Trent Steelman, who scored twice. Larry Dixon behind him. He scored once. He's the leading ground gainer of the afternoon. It goes to Dixon, and there's not much there. First half possessions. Here's Steelman so far in this game. 15 rushes, 52 yards. Needed over about 125 past Torrey Crawford rather. 2nd down and 8 coming up now here for Army. Steelman, pitch to Maples. It's on the ground. Wake Forest gets it. Justin Jackson picks up the loose ball as Raymond Maples put it on the ground on the pitch.
Now this is the counteractive play to what we've been seeing from the trap play. They're going to run a counter option off the trap fake. There's the trap fake. Now the pitch relationship between Steelman and Maples, he take a little bit too tight there. Pitch came in. It's a good pitch from Steelman, but Maples does not watch it in. Watch his head rotate up the field, does not watch the ball in. The ball's on the ground, and then he makes the second bad mistake is he doesn't get on his own fumble, and Wake has it on a short field situation.
We have a Wake Forest player, Chris Redding, on the field. Defensive end. Army had trouble with turnovers a year ago. They had 26 of them. And they've had their first of the day. And
now Chris Redding has been a big part of what Wake has been able, when they've had some success on the defensive side, it's been Chris Redding penetrating and creating problems, but having a few problems in the right leg area, trying to walk off the field.
We have a play under review here. Brad Allen has decided to review this play with the backward pitch.
I think what he's going to look to see if the Wake defender who made the recovery was on the ground after the recovery and take away the return. I don't think there's any question there's a fumble and he gets the recovery, but was he on the ground with the knee or any portion of the body that would declare him down at the recovery spot?
You know, today's coverage of ACC football is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're proud to have you with us. We appreciate you trying to keep us safe every single day of the year, and we hope you enjoy our broadcast here this afternoon. Brad Allen has his decision.
Did recover the backward pass. However, the runner was down, knee on the ground at the 25-yard line. It will be Wake Forest ball, 1st and 10 at the 25.
So instead of the 13, it goes back to the 25. And what Dave had said has come to fruition here. Wake Forest still has the ball. It's still a fumble. And they're still on the Army side of the football field, but just not as close to the end zone.
You get a high-octane offense, and sometimes you lay the football on the ground, especially when you pitch it. And Wake Forest was in a perfect position to secure the football. Now a short field opportunity for Tanner Price.
DeAndre Martin is his running back. He'll get the handoff. And a nice hole over on the left side, and he gets down to the 13, actually to the 14-yard line, a gain of 11. Bacon on the tackle for Army.
Now, Army likes to try to jump the play, but because of the ghost, and that's Michael Campanaro coming across in motion, it freezes the Army defenders to allow this offensive line to come off the ball and get that second level block. And DeAndre Martin is running like a man possessed. Running 6'1", 215 pounds, running hard.
1st and 10, Campanaro in motion. Handoff Martin, block Bohannon, but a good tackle made in the middle there. And that is going to be made by Ty Schrader. Schrader, number 4, with the arm tackle. 4-yard gain, however, on the play. Gets down to the 11.
We talked about how many different people Army has had to shuttle in because of injury, and got some young kids playing defensively. They got some kids that weren't on their depth chart playing. It's been amazing.
Wake Forest perfect in the red zone, 3 for 3. They came into this game perfect 5 for 5, and that means 5 scores and all 5 of them touchdowns. We got a timeout on the field, and it's going to be taken by Wake Forest. The Deacons up 25-23 over Army in the third.
Good nothing.
I'd like to get back into the discussion again and get back in the top 25. Virginia Tech, they take a loss. They take it early in the season and recover as nicely as anybody. They still have a string of, 8 straight 10-win seasons.
Line up in the Wildcat here with DeAndre Martin, the quarterback.
And he gets the pitch. He gets the corner. He gets the touchdown. A 10-yard run by DeAndre Martin, a redshirt freshman from Miami. And an all-important touchdown because for the first time today, one of these teams has a 2-score lead.
I want you to watch Bohannon. He's right here. Normally the fullback. He's going to get the block that's going to free DeAndre Martin. There's the block to the outside by Bohannon. Get a nice seal block to the inside. And DeAndre Martin out of the Wildcat shoves it in the end zone. Nice job to go to that out of the timeout. Kind of catch Army sleeping a little bit.
I don't think they saw it. It was a very important possession. This hasn't happened at all today between these two teams, and Wake Forest now steps their lead to 11. Back after this word from your local ACC station. Facebook and become a fan of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Get breaking news, conference updates, and connect with other ACC fans from around the world. We welcome you back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, BB&T Field, the home field for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who so far have made it a successful homecoming. They've attached an important point after and another touchdown on the board to take a 35-23 lead over Army. In this kind of, can you top this atmosphere?
Well, and it's what both coaches talked about is, can our defense make a play that's going to kind of make a difference and give one side or the other a little bit of breathing space. And what's happened is Wake Forest was the first team to make a play defensively, got the short field, and DeAndre Martin gets it in the end zone.
Justin Jackson recovered the fumble by Raymond Maples. That set up the short field for the Deacons. Here's Newman's kick. Rossetti and Frazier are back, but they haven't returned one today, and that'll keep pretty much as it looks. As always, at the top of our broadcast, the legendary rock band Kiss kicked off our ACC Network Game of the Week. The band has their 20th studio album ready to release. It's called Monster, and you can pre-order your copy at itunes.com/Kiss. You wanted the best? Well, you got the best. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Tommy Thayer, and Eric Singer. Monster. Pre-order your copy today. Offense has been a monster for both teams this far this afternoon. 1st and 10. Army, they've already rolled up about 340 yards of offense so far today. 310 actually. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at their own 25. Steelman on the key. Steelman gets some running room. And he gets out to about the 39-yard line. Joey Ehrman on the tackle. A 14-yard gain, though, for Trent Steelman.
Yeah, they do a good job of getting number 41 blocked. That's Mike Olson, the linebacker right there. Steelman steps in behind that block, and a nice pickup on 1st down. Move the chains.
First and 10. Army with a no-huddle offense, but they always will check to the sidelines. See all their skill players look off to the side. Maples, Dixon, and Brown. This is Brown. Brown gets behind a block, but Maples quickly closes it down. After about a 3-yard gain to the sidelines, we go to Mike Hogwood.
Steve, we've seen great effort on the part of both teams today. It's something both coaches preach, and they actually both have sayings. Rich Ellerson says he wants his players coming out of their shoes. And Jim Grove, he says, I want my players playing like their hair's on fire. I think both teams have done that pretty much today.
We got no shoes and no hair.
Well, that means like play fast because they're coming at you fast. Both guys want them playing fast.
It's been an enjoyable game this afternoon for fans of both teams. Straight ahead, it's Dixon and Wake doing a better job of slowing that down. Right up through the middle there, Riley Haynes making a couple of key tackles. Nearly a 2-yard gain. Another 3rd down situation facing Army. are 7 of 9 on third down. Maples, Dixon, and Brown behind Trent Steelman. 35-23, Wake Forest. Pushed to a 12-point lead because of the fumble deep in their own territory. Here's the pitch. Maples. He handles it this time. Hits the corner. And Raymond Maples shows a burst of speed. Daniel Mack and Kevin Johnson on the tackle. Nice 25-yard gain for Maples.
Again, this is the third option in the triple option attack. You're going to fake the handoff to Dixon. Now step around and pitch the ball to the outside. Got to get the block. And here's the block right here's the key. Hit the seam. Excellent job by Malcolm Brown to get the edge block.
1st and 10. Dixon on the quick hit this time. Tackle made by Hazimi.
Well, you just can't go to sleep, Steve, against this offense. This group just keep coming at you. It's waves coming at you. And if you don't stay with your assignments, somebody creases you down the field.
Brown, Dixon, and Maples again on 2nd down. 2nd and 8. Steelman keeps, pitches this time to Brown, hits the corner, and is driven out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Daniel Mack drives him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 18, and now Army's starting to eat up some real estate again.
And it's a cool little switch up because they get Climby, the tackle out in front, number 78. He gets out in front, Michael Climb, and does an outstanding getting the block on the edge, and up the field goes Brown this time. He had a block on the other side. Now he's the guy running the ball.
1st and goal. Maples on the little inside draw. It's down to about the 5. Tackle made by Zachary Allen. Another player down. That's going to be Daniel Mack, slow to get up. But Army coming right back after the kickoff following the touchdown. They take it from their own 25, and they're now down in the red zone inside the 10 at the Wake 5.
Yeah, there's no relaxing in this situation because Army's just going to continue to do what they do. They're very disciplined with their offensive attack. They keep coming off the ball.
Let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield. Morel Noel, 2011 consensus freshman All-America. He defended 21 passes. That's tied for the most in the NCAA. He picked off 2. The young man has a ton of potential out of Pahokee, Florida. And that's an area that Jim Grove knows like the back of his hand. I don't know, you can count on several hands how many great athletes he's gotten from Pahokee, Florida.
Yeah, Morel Noel is a kid that I think a lot of people feel like is going to be one of those corners you talk about for a couple of years here. He obviously had a great freshman season. Being asked to do something a little bit different, though. Got to really be up and tough against the run. He's standing right here having to play against the run game.
Daniel Mack hits to the sidelines. 2nd down and goal from the 5. And off inside Brown. He leans his way down close to the 1. And Petros on the tackle. It's a gain of 3 for Malcolm Brown. Brown's a guy who scored 11 career touchdowns and finds himself as a running back this week, whereas he's been a wide receiver in the previous 2 weeks. Steelman carries. Touchdown, Army. Just like that. Trent Steelman, 3rd score of the day for him from 2 yards out.
Well, this has kind of been their pet play when they get close. When they get 2 yards and in, this is it's a lead play. They don't really fake to the fullback. They just let Dixon lead up in the hole 28, and then Steelman folds in behind him. 26, I'm sorry. Larry Dixon is kind of the lead on that play, and Steelman gets behind his big fullback and leans in for the touchdown.
Wachowski out of Schure's hold. And the kick is good. So the point after good. Army 5 back, but they score after being scored upon. Steelman with his 3rd score of the afternoon, and it's 35-30. Wake Forest over Army. Let's go to our ACC Network studios in Charlotte and Dave Baker.
Hey, Steve, let's take a look at what's happening in the Twitter world with our AT&T fan tweets. It's a great day for college football, especially tonight. Turn up time for my Tigers hashtag Clemson football. That's Andre Branch, the defensive end from last year. He led the ACC with 10.5 sacks. Boy, they could use him tonight, Steve Martin.
They're going to have their hands full with Florida State. And what a setting down in Tallahassee. And, of course, the ACC with 2 top 10 teams. And, of course, the winner of that game gets, of course, a very advantageous position in the Atlantic Division and stays prominently in the talk for national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. I think both teams deserve their high ranking, and it should be a great football game.
That caps off the day in the ACC. It's a busy day. There's the scoring drive. Steelman, a 2-yard run, 9 plays, 75 yards. It doesn't take Army long to score. Time of possession, 6-minute favorite to Army here at this point in time. The kickoff drives Lavelle Jackson 8 yards deep. He won't come out. It'll be at the 25-yard line. Some prominent ACC stories. How about Dave Amerson? He got shut out against Tennessee, but has come on with a pair of interceptions since.
Amerson is as good a cover corners we've seen in the country. He had a tough day against Tennessee to start off with, but he's really come back strong in the last couple of games.
And how about Orwin Smith? 9.96. That's his career. Not a season, not a week, not a month, but a career for the Georgia Tech A-back. And then Duke Johnson out of Miami. 212 all-purpose yards.
Those two guys are going head-to-head today in Atlanta as Georgia Tech takes on Miami.
They're going to kick off here in about 10 minutes. 1st and 10 for Wake Forest. Making their way through. That's going to be Josh Harris. Harris scored the touchdown. Fusilier Jeffries is in on the tackle. Freshman out of Houston, Texas. Been tested thus far this afternoon. Gain of about 4 on the play by Harris. Harris got it going. I think Jim Grobe will look back on what's happened so far and say that they've started to discover their ground game. Play action on the boot by Price. Gets out there, throws a bullet right there, and it's ruled a catch. And that's going to be out there to Terrence Davis, 5th-year senior out of Wilburn, Georgia. An 8-yard gain.
Boy, nice play by Tanner Price here because Jeffrey Bacon, number 6, is clean. He beats him to the corner with the athleticism and then throws the ball in the dead run to Davis on the sideline. Nice job by Davis to keep the feet in, squeeze it, and get the first down.
Puts the chains out to the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Always keep track of that guy, Michael Campanero. Play action, throw down the field, looking for Campanero, but overthrew it.
It looked like a misread from Tanner Price. Campanero was looking to have that ball thrown to him in the hole, the deep curl route, and Tanner Price pulled him back to the inside. Really the first time they've kind of miscommunicated with one another as far as throwing the football.
Next week we'll be right back here in Winston-Salem for what always is a great emotional battle, and that's Duke and Wake Forest. And we'll have it on the air beginning at 12 noon with the ACC Blitz.
Well, it came right to the wire a year ago with Chris Gibbons making a great play in the final minute to win it.
Campanero in motion on 2nd down and 10. Here's Harris. Harris blasts through a hole, has one man to beat. He's going to beat Carnegie in a foot race and score the touchdown. 63 yards for Josh Harris.
Now, much like Army, Wake has been running this inside zone play for Josh Harris, and they've been picking up 4, 5, 6 yards. But this time they're going to get that second level block, and then Harris has great speed. No angle was cut off there, and Harris, once he gets in the open field, there are not a lot of people going to catch him.
Jimmy Newman for the point after, and Wake will maintain that 2-score lead. And we're still in the 3rd quarter. 71 points between these two, make it 72 on the point after kick. Longest run this season for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who get their ground game going. Let's watch this by Josh Harris again.
When you get big breakout runs, you got to get second level defenders blocked. This guy and this guy right here for Army are going to get blocked. Now watch for it as Wake gets to the second level. There's the second level here, and right there's the key block right here. That frees Josh Harris, and now once he's in the open field, it's all over. you got no chance. He's got great speed. So excellent job by Wake in that intermediate level, that's that second level, to get people blocked.
Now let's head to the sidelines. It's a very emotional day here at Wake Forest. It's homecoming, a lot of special memories. And our Mike Hogwood has one.
Yeah, this is a big reunion day. And 50 years ago today, Wake Forest played against Army. Brian Piccolo was a sophomore. It was his freshman season. In 1965, in the 64-65 season, he was the Athlete of the Year in the ACC, was an All-American. He was the Player of the Year, led the nation in points and in rushing yards. And, folks, I can tell you, he was my hero as a young boy. And the Army coach, Rich Ellerson's brother, was the captain of that Army team that played against Brian Piccolo. It was a great period of Wake Forest football, Stephen Arch.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. This is Frazier's going to let it go into the end zone. They'll take it out at the 25-yard line.
Just to finish up that story, and great job by Hogg to relate that to us. We talked to Coach Ellerson on the sideline, and he told us about this today. Wearing John Ellerson, who was the captain of that Army team, wore number 87 that day in that game, and his son is on this team today as a freshman wearing number 87, a long snapper on the Army team. So a lot of ties here with the Ellerson family.
Cross currents between these two schools, meeting for the 12th time, and they put 72 points on the board, and we still have almost a quarter and a half to go. Steelman, the pitch to the corner. Maples hits the corner, squares the shoulders, and is driven out of bounds.
Steve, we've seen Larry Dixon make they had a nice first half, over 80 yards rushing the first half. Now they're getting to the perimeter, and they're getting the option play going. Here Maples gets to the edge. Another explosion play in the run game and a first down.
Duran Lowe made the saving tackle after 19 yards by Raymond Maples. 1st and 10. Army at the 44. Handoff goes to Dixon. Not much there. Let's take you to our studios and Dave Baker.
Thanks a bunch, Steve. Maryland came back to tie up number 8 West Virginia at 14 all, but Tavon Austin with his 3rd TD catch of the day. He's got 11 catches, 175 yards, and 3 scores.
Wow. West Virginia with all kinds of firepower there. Handoff straight ahead to Larry Dixon, and he makes some pretty good yardage. 1 yard shy of the first down. They're in Wake territory at the 47. 8 of 7 on the play by Dixon, who's honing in on 100 yards for the 2nd straight week.
This has been an incredible offensive football day. I mean, both these offenses cranking. There's the numbers. Unbelievable. Cranking it up.
And a handoff going for the first down. We're going to mark him at the 45. We're going to say first down Army. Steelman does it again.
You know, Coach Grove told Mike Hogwood coming out after halftime, he said, hey, this is the first full live practice we've had against this offense, and it's in the game. So it's very difficult to assimilate what they do.
Steelman got hit in the backfield. That slowed him down. There's a flag down on the play. Chris Redding hit him in the backfield.
This might be a helmet hit here with the crown of the helmet.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 90 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that pushes the ball deeper into Wake Forest territory now. That'll go all the way down to about the 30.
Redding is right here. He's going to shoot through. They also blitz off the edge to create the problem on the pitch. See, there's no pitch, and Redding makes the hit, but he wrapped the hand around the face mask on Steelman. Let's look for the hand right there. Grab the face mask just momentarily, but enough to draw the flag.
Only the 2nd Wake Forest penalty this afternoon. 1st and 10. Army back to throw. Steelman, and it is complete. And that is Malcolm Brown, the senior who's moved back and forth, wide receiver to running back, a 19-yard pickup. They're in the red zone of Wake Forest again.
Well, it's a cool little wrinkle because they run the back up the sideline. Been blocking all day long. Now they release him up the field after the post route to the inside. Brown releases up the sideline and no one's there.
He's 2 for 3 on the day. It's only the 14th pass of the year for Army. Here comes Dixon. trying to ride people down. He gets hit at the 3-yard line. Ehrman leads the attack. Zach Thompson has lost his helmet, so he'll have to go to the sidelines for the play. It's a 3-yard gain.
Eric Ellis will come in and replace him. He had come in place of Redding on the other side when Redding was down with the injury.
All of these adjustments made because Nikita Whitlock has a high ankle sprain suffered in the North Carolina game. Here's the pitch, and immediately caught is Brown. And making a great play is Joey Ehrman.
Well, Ehrman is the guy that they love his athleticism. He can stand up, he can put his hand in the dirt, plays outside backer, and he's going to slow play this play off the block and was right there. And this is the first one we've seen, really, that Steelman hasn't read correctly. That was one he needed to attack Ehrman with the football a little bit more. He didn't do that. And it was an easy play for the big defensive end linebacker.
I think that's the second play of negative yardage for Army this afternoon. 3rd down and 12. Army 10 of 12 on 3rd down. To throw again. He's got it to Maples for the touchdown.
Oh, what a great catch by Raymond Maples right at the pylon. This is the same play they just ran to Brown, only they run it the other way. Just an outstanding job, little play fake to freeze the linebackers. Then Maples makes a great catch. Little quick play fake. Maples #1 going to the pylon. Watch this catch. Spectacular one-handed stab.
Touchdown Army. And they're going for the point after. To pull them to within 5. Wachowski gets the kick up, and it is good. And we've got a 5-point ball game again. 42-37. We aren't done the 3rd quarter.
This is just a really good catch. Maples reaches up with the right hand, squeezes it, and then gets both feet down. It's an excellent play by the junior from Philadelphia.
He had a 100-yard day last week. He's probably thinking about the ball he put down on the ground at his own 25-yard line that set up Wake Forest score that allowed them to get to that 2-score margin. Right now, Army has taken all but 5 of that away from them here with this score. And it is for Steelman. It's going to be his first touchdown pass of the season, but the 10th of his career.
Now credit the little wrinkle. Ian Shields, the offensive coordinator, had saved that little pass play to the back up the sideline, used it twice in that drive. One to Malcolm Brown for a 1st down, and then he hits Maples for the touchdown. So a nice job by Ian Shields, the offensive coordinator. Kind of save a play, have a little play in the pocket that you hadn't seen yet. And that one, they cashed it in twice on that drive.
You said it earlier. Rich Ellison told us, hey, we actually look good passing in practice. We just haven't been able to do it in the game yet.
You can't say that anymore. They're throwing the ball well.
3 out of 4 this afternoon, and a touchdown for 77 yards. We're ready to go. Eric Osteen getting ready to do the kickoff here. Jackson backs up, and he will not bring it out. Thought better of it. Well, coming up next week, we come right back here to BB&T Field on our ACC football game of the week, and the 2 guys we'll see from Duke, Sean Renfrey and Connor Vernon. What a pass-catch combination for the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, they're as good as there is, not just in the ACC, but around the country. Those 2 guys have a great a feel for one another, and you see the numbers reflect that as Connor Vernon closing in on the all-time ACC receptions record.
1st and 10, Wake Forest. The lead is now 5. And off DeAndre Martin. Spins. And is picked up there in the middle. Lee Drummond helped out a 2-yard gain.
Nice play by number 83, Kyle Maxwell, the defensive end there, too. Beat the block of Campanaro. And Kyle Maxwell, number 83, stepped inside that block and really disrupted that play.
Kind of mixed up their front 4 now. As Drummond has come in, Buchanan is in there, was Zalmaritis and Mackey. Harris, who scored on a 65-yard run last time Wake Forest had the ball, gets 3 yards here out to the 29-yard line.
And it was on a very similar play he just ran there, Steve. So nice job of Army finding a way to get a stop. Now Army realizes this is an opportunity now to try to get off the field on third down. Haven't been many opportunities for either one of these defenses to create a situation where there's a little bit of stress on the offense, but here's one for Wake's offense.
It's 3 out of 5 on third down this afternoon. We got DeAndre Martin way out. It's an open backfield. Third down and 6. Tanner Price tucks it in, and he won't get anywhere. Sacked as he tried to scramble ahead. Ty Schrader helped out. Kyle Maxwell played well as well.
Yeah, Kyle Maxwell, just mentioned his name a few minutes ago. Going to come off the edge here. Wins around the edge, and he shoves Tanner Price in to the rest of the Black Knights as they get Tanner Price on the ground.
And that brings Alex Kinnell on for the second time this afternoon. First sack of the day for either team. Kinnell, the Australian kicker, gets a low snap. Long line drive. Cussetti has it at the 20. And Cussetti is brought down by Bohannon at the 25-yard line, and that'll be the last play of the quarter. A 50-yard punt, a 5-yard return. And Wake Forest gives up the ball. Army has it back when we come back in the fourth quarter. Army through 3. Trails 42-37 to Wake. We welcome you to Winston-Salem for ACC football from the ACC Network. Steve Martin here along with Dave Archer and Mike Hogwood. Wake Forest leading here 42-37. Army's got the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Trent Steelman, first Army quarterback to ever run and pass for 2,000 yards each in a career. Handoff goes to Larry Dixon. Not much there. Maybe a yard gain, maybe 2. Let's head back to our ACC Network studios and Dave Baker.
Steve, this Hyundai update. Maryland hanging in Morgantown. Perry Hills 56 yards to Stephon Diggs. The point after was good. 7:25 to play. And it's West Virginia 31, Maryland 21.
Hey, Stephon Diggs was very impressive last week. 1 yard.
Well, he's putting on a show evidently in Morgantown. That's 2 touchdowns for Stephon Diggs today.
Second down coming. Steelman on the keep. And Steelman tackled. Hit first there by Petros. 2-yard gain. Here are Food Lion stats with 3 quarters of play. Army with 446 total yards. Wake Forest with 411. Steelman with 148 total yards and has accounted for 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground. We've had 79 push-ups by cheerleaders celebrating every point in this game. Steelman hands off to Dixon, his big fullback, and goes right down in Zach Thompson's grasp right there at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Boy, the 2 big play guys of the first half have not been able to get loose here in the second half. Larry Dixon, over 80 yards rushing in the first half and a couple of touchdowns. Wake Forest has done a good job of taking him away. We haven't seen a lot of Michael Campanera. We'll find out if Wake can start getting Michael Campanera after 12 touches in the first half, only 2 in the second half. Might return to his kick right here.
That's right. Might get a touch here, and Bolt will kick for only the 2nd time this afternoon. 3rd time. It's 4th and 5. Chris Bolt. Campanera line drive. He'll get to try to return. A walk in the back coming with a flag. Campanera will get to the 40, but this is going to start way back in Wake territory. A 52-yard kick. It's a 12-yard return, but
yeah, Morel Noel with the block in the back there.
So Jim Grobe a little concerned about that, but now
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 7 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down. We have an official's timeout.
timeout on the field here at BB&T Field in Winston-Salem, the campus of Wake Forest University. And they're 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Out of the eye. Here's Harris. And Harris gets some running room out to about the 22-yard line. Been a good day so far for Josh Harris.
Yeah, they've gotten some good blocking up front. Bohannon, the fullback, 42, and then, of course, the offensive line. But how about the individual effort on this touchdown run by Josh Harris? And then, of course, the explosive play where he got to the second level and showed that great speed. It's been a big day for Josh Harris. 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really a shot in the arm for the team when you start talking about they've really only been able to throw it. He's really stepped up big for him today.
Yards per carry starting to climb thanks to what he's done today. Here's the pass to Campanero, his 11th catch of the day, and he's broken through a couple defenders and could beat a couple more. Brought down at the Army 42. A 37-yard catch and run by Michael Campanero.
Talked about Campanero, hadn't touched the ball in the second half but 2 times, and here's the quick screen to the outside, gets the block. Terry's been good about that, but then nice running, nice between the 2 Army defenders, and then ultimately runs out of gas and is tackled. But a nice play by Campanero out on the edge.
11th catch of the day. He had 13 against North Carolina 2 weeks ago. 1st and 10. Harris. And Harris moves the pile about 2 yards down to the 39-yard line. And Nate Holmes is the bandit back, a senior from New Albany, Indiana, makes the tackle. Holmes is the guy who calls the defensive signals, and he's the bandit back. Sometimes he'll end up on the edge. Sometimes he'll line up right over the nose. 3 tackles for loss and 2 sacks.
Him in the number 2 tackler on this team so far this year for the Black Knights.
2nd down and 8. Campanero in motion. Price looks at him once. Now throws this out of bounds. Question is, was he out of the tackle box at time?
He certainly was outside and let the ball go beyond the line of scrimmage. Excellent job covering down the field. It's a coverage sack or coverage pressure by Army's secondary. Did an outstanding job. That allowed Jeffrey Bacon to come on the late blitz, pressure Tanner Price and throwing the ball away.
It's going to be a big 3rd down here for Wake. They are 3 for 6 in 3rd down plays this afternoon, and this is a big one to keep possession of the ball and possibly get that 2-score lead again. Price drops 3, back to 3, he drops it. Campanero, that would have been a 1st down.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got man coverage on Campanero. We talked about how Army's going to play man coverage all over the field, and Campanero's clean. It's something you don't see very often. Is he real reliable receiver, drops the football.
Would have been his 12th catch of the day. Instead, it's going to bring up 4th down in a punting situation. Kinnell is going to kick it away. Busetti is back to get the kick. Sky high, that's what he wants it. He wants it inside the 20, and it's fielded there by Busetti on a fair catch. A 25-yard kick, but he did the job. That's his 6th pin inside the 20. We have a flag down on the field. And this is going to be against Wake Forest. They make him kick this. They may make him kick it again.
Illegal formation foul. 5 players in the backfield by the kicking team. That penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot. It will be 1st down.
So instead of having it at the 15, they'll have it at the 20. As they go from there with 11:11 left to go. And Army will have the ball. They're down 5. So they've stopped Wake getting that 2-score lead again, and now they have a chance to drive the field, which they've done successfully, Dave, the last couple of times down with the ball. Got a timeout on the field. 11:11 left to go here in the 4th quarter of play. Exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Ready to go. Army 1st and 10 in a key defensive series now here for Wake Forest. They were forced to punt it away, and now here comes Army again, and this is Raymond Maples, and Maples, who ran for 159 yards a week ago, gets it out to the 29-yard line. Kevin Johnson on the stop, but real estate chunks. Dixon, we have 2 backs with 100 yards, 1 more creeping into that territory. You could add a 4th and talk about Trent Steelman.
Well, Maples, this is 3 consecutive games. He's been over 100 yards, 2 for Dixon, so this is something they do on a regular basis.
Here's Dixon. Carries Mike Olson with him out to about the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 6, but again, good real estate, plenty of time, 10:35
And they're very content with this, Steve, just to move the chains. Talked about it earlier in the game. Move the chains. The goal line eventually will hit you in the face, and they'll take 4, 5, 6 yards to carry, and they'll eat the clock as well.
First and 10. There's the pitch to Maples on the corner. Maples has some blockers. Gets out to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 9. Kevin Johnson with another stop. And let's go to Mike Hogwood. Got a man down here for Army.
Looks like maybe Ben Jebb.
Yep.
Ben Jebb, left tackle.
6'5" senior. We turned 2 starters out of that offensive line. And Jebb is going to be tended to by the Army medical folks.
Jebb out in front here, trying to get the block.
Can't bring his.
Looks like he kind of got fallen on as he was trying to make that block on the outside.
Let's talk a little bit more about that offensive line that Army has. Here's Mike Hogwood.
Steve, Army's had great success on offense today, and they don't have any of those prototype 300-pound offensive linemen. We talked to Rich Ellerson, the coach, earlier this week, and he says, you know what? These guys are here to be cadets first, and we can't really make a cadet body into a football body. But the linemen they do have done a pretty good job today.
You're not going to find any 300-pounders over there.
No, but you can bet that all those guys are in tremendous physical condition. And so that if you're 245 pounds as Jebb is playing tackle, it's a solid 245 pounds. There's nothing extra on that guy. These guys are in tremendous condition. They have a great discipline up front as to what they're trying to get done.
And there goes Jebb. Look at the roster breakdown here. Freshmen 47, those are the plebes. Sophomores 41. Yearlings, cows, and firsties. The firsties are the last year guys. They're the guys getting ready to go out and do the real stuff. Some interesting traditions at Army. Beast barracks for the incoming freshmen. Second down and about an inch for Army. Steelman will call his own number, has the first down, loses the football, and Army will get it back. And that was Malcolm Brown who picked up the loose ball. A.J. Marshall had a stab at it, but it's a first down. Forget all the crying, it's first down for Army.
Yeah, gets a good block from Dixon up front, but a good tackle by Marshall. The safety comes in and jars the ball out of there. Excellent hustle by Brown to get on it for Army.
First and 10 for the Black Knights. They're at midfield. They're down 5, but they have control of the football. And they've had it for about a minute and a half now. Hand off, first guy through. That's going to be Maples. Maples with a carry. He gets about 3. Mike Olson on the tackle.
Well, we talked about Army's offensive line and another Army offense. Steelman, the quarterback, he took a big shot on that play by A.J. Marshall coming up. Actually reached down and kind of grabbed the rib area when he got up after that hit. And he may still be bothering. You see they're checking that left lower rib area on the senior quarterback.
Well, they do have a good backup for him. Angel Santiago is a sophomore.
Just hadn't played very much.
No, hasn't played an awful lot, but they got somebody who's in Fontana, California. He'll be standing by. He has a career touchdown.
Well, I think it was on the play prior that Stillman's still reeling from. It was the hit by A.J. Marshall when he fumbled the football, and he got up after the play and was grabbing in that rib area, went ahead and stayed in for another play. But let's take a look at that play again. Steelman going to keep, gets the block from Dixon, and watch A.J. Marshall, 17, going to come up and make the big hit.
Yeah. Yep.
Now watch him reach and grab the side as he stands up. He's going to continue to watch it.
Yep. Got it right there, Dave. They'll go to the sideline. Santiago will take his spot. And for how many plays will be a key question for Army here. Steelman gets to the sidelines with 21 rushes and 80 yards.
Nice job of spreading it out, too. There, we talk about triple option. Did a really good job of spreading it out and making it tough to defend.
Santiago under center. He's going to carry to get warm on the first play. Wake Forest makes it pretty chummy on him. Daniel Mack leads the charge. Justin Jackson also in on the stop. Santiago is a sophomore from Fontana, California.
Yeah, not as big a player as Steelman. Steelman's 6 feet, 6'1", 210 pounds. This kid's 5'11", 190. So a little bit different body. We start talking about running the football here for Santiago. A huge play on third down.
Big third down for the Black Knight. They're 11 for 14 on third down this afternoon. This is a big one. Santiago will carry, and he'll get close. Got up to about the 40. Olsen on the tackle for Wake. Gain of 4, maybe.
Nice job by Santiago for the play fake. Here's Olsen right here. He's going to flow to the play. He gets over the top, reaches. He's going to make the tackle, but a nice little ball fake by Santiago to get this to 4th and short.
4th and inches for Army in a key drive here. And now they're going to reset the ball. The umpire comes in, and we got a timeout. Timeout on the field. Army wants to talk things over. They're down by 5 with the ball. Ball is brought to you by your CPI security systems, by BMW, by AT&T, by Buick, and by Progressive. 4th and 1 for Army. Steelman is back in. Trent Steelman at quarterback. 4th and inches for the Black Knights, who are driving 5 points down. They need the 39-yard line for a first down. Steelman will get that and more. Looks like his ribs are okay. He's got a new center, though. A groin pull on the behalf of Ryan Powers will put Will Wilson.
Yeah, I think that Steelman certainly has a major issue. Came in and got that first down, but he's got some kind of ab injury or rib area. Got hurt on that tackle by A.J. Marshall where he fumbled the football.
And he's really hurt down there now. Helmet is off. And Santiago is back in with more on this injury. Let's go to the sidelines. Mike Hogwood.
Well, you guys have speculated right. It is a rib injury. He took a helmet, and I think you guys saw that right to the ribs, and they're really sore. He had to talk his way back into the lineup, and as you might expect from the quarterback of the Army team, he's one tough player. He talked his way back onto the field for that play, got the first down, but you know he's hurting.
Yep, he's got to go to the sidelines now under his own power. Santiago will come back in.
He talked about Wilson coming in at center. He did a good job of winning at the point of attack, and then of course Steelman just leaned in behind him, but obviously not feeling very well. He's tried to actually walk off a couple of times and had to kneel back down. So he just hope this isn't anything too serious. Obviously
things run a lot better when he's there at quarterback. 4-year starter. Who wouldn't think so? So he'll go off the sidelines, maybe not as quickly this time. And whether we've seen the last of Trent Steelman remains to be seen. But Angel Santiago is going to be the man of the moment. Sophomore from California will step in, and he'll be at the controls of the Army offense. 9th play of the drive. Started back at their own 20-yard line. They've moved 42 yards. And they've eaten up a good 4 minutes. Close to 4 minutes.
And his last play in the game, Santiago with a nice ball fake and kept the football about a 5-yard pickup.
Hand off, Maples, not much. Haynes and Thompson will bring him down. It's a gain of about almost 3. It's down to the 36-yard line.
They've had a lot of success out on the perimeter in the second half. Most of the success was in the interior in the first half, but it's been on the edge they've had their success in this half.
Santiago checking the sidelines for possible change in call. Brown, Dixon, and Maples are behind him. He'll keep.
You can't hesitate. He hesitated with the pitch. He had the right idea to go ahead and keep it, and then decided to pitch it late, and then realized that wasn't the right decision and tried to reload it. Watch the indecision here by Santiago. Comes out, he's going to keep. Now he's going to pitch. Nope, I'm going to keep it. Too late.
Riley Harris says, big mistake.
Yeah, you can't hesitate. These guys are fast enough defensively. They're going to recover.
Big third down coming up here for Army. Will this drive stall? They are 11 of 15 on third down this afternoon. They've been immensely successful. They trail by 5. Straight ahead. Not much there. They're going to be shy of the first down. It's going to be about a 5-yard gain. Dixon on the carry. Closed captioning for ACC football is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
If you're wondering, Santiago's 0 for 1 on the year. He's only thrown 1 pass. Now they had success with the wingback up the sideline in the last drive for their touchdown.
4th down and a long 3-yard.
Yeah, both Brown and Maples caught passes down the sideline, isolated against a one-on-one defender.
They have Lawrence split wide to the top. Santiago wants to throw, doubles back, and is brought down. And that is going to be Mike Olson, who's had quite a day, and Army now gives up on downs.
Well, it's an example of a guy that had not been in the game and was not in the flow. This was going to be the sprint out pass where, if you remember, Steelman ran with it, picked up about 8 yards, but he decides to not continue to the outside where all his outlets are to throws. He pulls up and goes back to the inside where all of Wake's defenders are gathered, and they put him on the ground. So nice job by Wake to rise up and get a stop on 4th down.
They ate up about 4.5 minutes and got nothing out of it, and now Wake Forest can take their time with 5:50 left to go. Army has 2 timeouts remaining. Quick pass intended for Campanaro, but that'll stop the clock. Hey fans, CPI Security is giving away 4 tickets to the Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game. To enter, visit cpisecurity.com/ACC. You know, over 50,000 tickets have been sold for that game already, and we're a little under 3 months. One of the 2 teams out of that Clemson-Florida State game to find themselves in Charlotte. First weekend of December. Campanaro in motion, 2nd down and 10. And a handoff to DeAndre Martin, and he's thrown down for a loss of 2. And that is Drummond, Joe Drummond.
Nice job of knifing in and getting the hands around the legs, put him on the ground. That's exactly what Army needed. They got a little bit of a favor in the fact that it's just too hard to turn down as that quick screen to the outside. Tanner Price wasn't accurate with it on 1st down. Now here you are, 3rd and 12 after the good play on 2nd down, and Army's getting what they wanted out of this series of downs from their defense so far.
They may force a 3 and out. 3 of 7, 0 for 2 in the 2nd half on 3rd down for Wake Forest. Ragland in motion. Price has some time. Now he'll carry himself. He needs the 42. He's got the 1st down and steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Big 3rd down get by Tanner Price of 19.
Well, so often is when you get a situation, you got man coverage in the secondary. If you don't stay in your rush lane, see, everybody's going to get washed to the left here. Price sees it's man coverage in the secondary. He just pulls it down. There's nobody guarding him man-to-man, and he runs to the 1st down. Wherever you get man coverage back in the back end, you got to be pretty disciplined with your pass rush up front, because the quarterback gets clean, nobody accounts for him.
Big sigh of relief on the Wake Forest sidelines. As Price, play action now on 1st down, out there to throw. He has a man out there. It's tight end Spencer Bishop, but just couldn't get it to go. We've got a break here. Let's send you back to our ACC Network studios and Dave Baker.
Oh, Steve, with this Hyundai update, what a big one we have got tonight. You've been talking about it in Tallahassee, just the 9th time in the ACC, a matchup of top 10 teams, only the 2nd top 10 matchup in college football this year. In NCAA football history, 3 of the last 4 matchups of top 10 teams have been won by the lower-ranked teams, Steve.
Well, let's see if Clemson has that upset badge on them. A lot of people think they'll do fairly well tonight, but I think it'll be a great ball game. Campanaro in motion. Here comes DeAndre Martin, and he picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Wake Forest ground game, found itself in this game this afternoon, a gain of 7.
Yeah, that's really the first time in this series they've leaned on it. They had the one negative play. Drummond made the tackle in the backfield, but it's been throwing the football. Really surprised. As well as they've run it, they haven't leaned on it a little bit more in this drive. But a nice pickup there on second down from DeAndre Martin.
Facing another third down situation, a little bit more manageable this time at 4. Wake Forest leading 42-37. But they've got to get 4 for the first down to keep possession of the football. Here comes Martin. Gets to the 41. He's going to be very close. Army says no. Fusilier Jeffries, who's had a ton of tackles today, makes one here.
Well, good job of just a push off that side, but a little stretching out. And where does the knee touch down as he stretches the football out? It's been marked almost right, just short of the 41-yard line, which is pretty much where the sticks were.
It'll be very, very close. First down, Wake Forest, their second first down in this drive. 2 key third down conversions. One by Price and that one by DeAndre Martin.
Now, whenever you get in this 4-minute offense, which is essentially when you're trying to kill the clock, which coaches look at. They don't look at it at 2 minutes. 2 minutes usually when you're coming from behind, but the 4-minute offense is when you're trying to grind the clock out. And Jim Grove would be very happy if his offensive line can continue to come off in football and get 4 or 5 yards of pop.
42-37. Another day at the ballpark. 79 points, and I had a great time. That's what anybody who showed up here today can say. Price pass out there to Campanero, and a good tackle attempt there by Marcus Avery. And it's going to be a short gain, maybe 2 yards.
Now they're very comfortable with this quick screen game. I talked about it being an extension of what they do running the football. It's a perimeter run is all it is. Be accurate with the throw and let Campanero go one-on-one, but Avery comes up and makes a play. He's seen it all day long. It's hard to turn down. It's a two-on-two setup out there.
Timeout for Army. Back after this word for your local ACC station. Forest trying to win a non-conference game against Army, 42-37. Look at this. We've got 981 yards here, 79 points, and ball control. Well, we said Army would own the clock, but right now Wake Forest owns the scoreboard, and more importantly, they own the football. Second down and 9. Campanero, a rare running back appearance, gets him down to the 37. Joffrey Bacon with the tackle. It's gain of 3. Another big third down, and now another timeout called by Army, and they've just exhausted their final timeout. They called the one that sent us to break, and now they've called another one here.
Well, we talked about that ball control. Let's look at one of the great drives of the game, our BMW drive. Let's look at the ultimate drive presented by BMW, and it was by Wake Forest. It started with the throw to the tight end, and then it was a lot of this guy, Josh Harris, outstanding runner. Campanero, who'd been a big-time player all day long in this 7-play, 75-yard drive, capped off by the great run by Josh Harris at the end, individual. Ultimate drive brought to you by BMW.
So Army's exhausted their final timeout. And a big third down. And Trent Steelman, their outstanding quarterback, 4-year starter, has been a factor both on and off the field. Off the field, they failed to get a first down on 4th and 1 and ended up giving Wake Forest the football, which they took about 3 minutes ago. And they still have it now, but they're facing a key third down. Wake is 5 of 9. And this is looking at the third down conversion of this drive. Here's Martin. Martin's got it. Martin could have even more. Martin headed for the end zone. Touchdown, Wake Forest. "37 yards downfield when all they needed was 7.
On DeAndre Martin's second touchdown run of the day, and this one comes from the eye. We saw him score from the Wildcat set in the first half. Boy, they've had an outstanding 1-2 punch at the tailback spot with Josh Harris and DeAndre Martin.
Talk about guys with 100 yards rushing. Harris is already there. Martin's closing in. The kick by Newman on the point after is good. And fans here on the Wake Forest sideline are breathing a whole lot easier after DeAndre Martin on 3rd and 7 took it 38 yards for a score, and that may be enough. He's got 115 on the day, the second Wake back at 100 plus.
Let's take a look at DeAndre Martin. I formation. Bohannon leads. Bohannon didn't really block anybody, and just a great cut, great vision by DeAndre Martin to see the cutback lane, got back into the middle of the field, and then another guy with speed puts it in the end zone.
And Rich Ellison knows that that may be the thing that shut the freezer door on his offense this afternoon.
Well, he talked about so many young kids, freshmen playing on the defensive side of the football. To stop the run, you have to fit every gap, and it certainly looked like a couple of Army defenders may have over pursued, did not fit properly in their gaps, and that gives the cutback lane to DeAndre Martin, and that's what he's upset about. And he understands that, yeah, playing with some young kids are going to make some mistakes. They certainly fought their rear ends off today. I know that.
Sure did. They had 3 true freshmen in that back 7 today. Meyer at linebacker and Fusilier, Jeffries, and Carnegie back there. But it hasn't been enough. Wake Forest has been outstanding this afternoon, especially from the ground. Musetti and Frazier back for Jimmy Newman's kick. It's the line shot. Frazier will field it a yard deep. Frazier coming up the field, heads down the sideline. Nice return. Some running room out to the 37-yard line to be a 37, 38-yard return. Duran Lowe makes the tackle. We'll be back here next Saturday at BB&T Field as the Duke Blue Devils come to town. Duke playing home against Memphis tonight. Then they'll come here next week, and the Duke-Wake battles have been among the best in recent years. They're the 2 smallest schools in this conference.
Yeah, you and I have been fortunate to do the last couple, and they're phenomenal games.
We expect no less. Raymond Maples on the first play from scrimmage. Santiago now operating at quarterback, maybe a 1-yard gain, and it's pretty much too much to ask for Army to come from 12 points down with 2:31 left and no timeouts.
Well, and you get your backup quarterback in a game that does not have a lot of playing time, and now you're going to have to throw the football, and 0 for 1 is Santiago on the year.
He'll go back home to face Stony Brook next week. He's trying to pass. Now he's got to keep it and get some nice yardage out there. Zach Thompson will bring him down after about a 6-yard gain. Steele, though, has been sensational until he got hit in the ribs. That put him out of the lineup, but they nearly got 4 guys at 100 yards each. Both teams have over 500 yards offense. There's a pass to Laird, Patrick Laird, junior from Monroe, New York. Bud Noel on the
it was a couple. You had to have somebody had to flinch on offense, and what it was the fumble that gave the short field to Wake Forest. They shoved it in the end zone with DeAndre Martin, and then it was the go for it on 4th down, and that's essentially a turnover when you don't convert on 4th down. And those are really the 2 mistakes that Army made offensively that created the gap here in the score.
Carnegie, rather that is going to be Santiago to throw. His pass is incomplete for Scott Williams. And that'll do it as they give up on down. Chibik and Lacoro covering on the play for Wake Forest. Stops the clock with 1:47 left to go. For Wake Forest, Duke will be here next week. That's our broadcast game. Then they're at Maryland and at Virginia before Clemson comes visiting along with Boston College. And that schedule takes you out to November 3rd. Their open week will be on the 13th of October. Victory formation.
Yeah. Anytime you're a coach, this is your favorite formation to line up in. Don't have to practice it. Just tell guys where to line up. But this is the one you're excited about.
Well, at least unless you're facing a team coached by Greg Schiano.
I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get their. I think they're going to get their comeuppance on that one if they try to do that again. That is not lost on those in the NFL.
No, it isn't. You're out of timeouts. You're 1 possession down, but that probably isn't a good play that engenders you a lot of fellowship. So Army cannot stop the clock. There's 1:10 left to go, and clock rolling, and one more knee after this one, and Wake Forest will have win number 3. And they'll be able to look at conference play from here on out until they play Notre Dame and Vanderbilt on the last 2 games of the season. So an intense conference diet.
Well, Jim Grobe was worried about this game. He knew that he didn't have a lot of time to prepare for what Army was going to bring to the table. He knew they would bring discipline. He knew they'd bring effort, and they were bringing an offense that you don't see very much. And so the discipline was going to have to be there. They got enough done defensively, and they played really well offensively to secure the win.
They may feel like this is the last day of school because they don't play Georgia Tech this year, so that's it with the triple option.
That's right.
They don't see that again this year. Victory formation again for the final time, and they'll watch the clock roll away. And Wake Forest will wind up a winner in a wild affair here in Winston-Salem. The Demon Deacons come away scoring 49 points, and they needed a lot of it to hold off a determined Army team that was looking for their first victory of the season. And even though they didn't get it, the Army's going to find themselves with close to 500 yards offense and 429 on the ground. For Wake Forest, they had 517, and the play of Tanner Price was one of the keys to this game here this afternoon. Mike Hogwood is down on the field, and he's got Wake Forest football coach Jim Grobe.
Congratulations, your team really fought and played well in that second half.
Well, they really did. Our defense was in trouble, Mike. I mean, they had great schemes against us. We weren't doing much to slow them down. I couldn't be more impressed with Army.
You know, you've been looking for a running game all year. You found one today.
Yeah, I thought our backs ran hard. We blocked a little better. We cut a lot of our running game out for this game. Felt like we were asking our guys to do too much. That helped us today.
Well, good win today, and congratulations. We'll see you next week against Duke.
Long day. Thank you, Mike. We know we got our work cut out for us next week.
All right, Steve, up to you.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks to, of course, Freddie Kiger, our statistician, Jeff Gompers, our stage man, our spotter, our stage manager, Michelle Willie, and Dave. It's just been a point-filled fest here this afternoon. But Wake Forest, they pared down their run game, but they found it.
Well, I like the fact that they were finding a way to get a win. They knew this was a scary week, and credit to the guys from Army to come in here with everything they have to do to get ready to play a football game, and they played their rear ends off as well. So good, fun game.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. For Dave Archer and Mike Hogwood, I'm Steve Martin, sending you back to our ACC Network studios in Charlotte.
Thanks a bunch, Steve. We appreciate